Clubhouse.
You know who doesn't care for him is Corey doesn't. John doesn't care for him because they live not too far from one another.
In Chicago?
Yeah.
How does he know he lives close? Have they spoken before?
Yeah, he makes references, local references to John. I know this. I actually know within 3 blocks of where this guy lives in Chicago. But he takes things that John or John's extended family are involved with and will mention them in our rooms to like creep out John. And I think John is a good sport about it. But the guy's really persistent. And doesn't know when to quit.
A lot of people really think that he's a Fed, and that he's just here to record people and see. I mean, somebody found one day, I don't know if somebody made it up or something, but I have photos of his Fed ID.
Like a fake Fed ID?
No, it looks pretty legit, actually. It's not fake. I don't think it's fake. I mean, we know his real name.
Yeah.
His name is John. And, yeah, I don't know. Let me find them, and I'll send them to you so you can see them.
He knows too much about the business world to, I think, have worked for the Feds. So,
yeah, he's also into real estate as well.
Yeah.
I don't know, he's just a very cultured person. He really is very smart.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a liberal definition of smart, but yeah.
Somebody found one. I mean, he's an intelligent guy. I mean, he might not be, might be a douche, but that doesn't mean he's dumb.
Yeah, he's got intellect, for sure.
Yeah. And again, he's super well read, in philosophy and religion and economics. He's good. And he records himself, he streams himself half naked on YouTube, just showing all his tattoos while he's got Clubhouse on the background. Sometimes he's doing yoga and he has got Clubhouse in the background. He's got like 20 phones, all stacked on a desk, all on their chargers, and he's in different rooms in Clubhouse, just streaming shit out. What does it mean, is Isa the new Vanessa? What's that entitled?
That's fucking retarded.
That's rude. Who said that? Yeah, that's very retarded.
What does that even mean?
Raphael, of course. It's not so close.
Oh, yeah, it's Raphael. No one really knows what he means. He's spec.
It says it means you're trying to smash fish.
No, that's not what Big wrote. He wrote, it means you're trying to...
What?
Oh, I thought there was a comment that wasn't. Never mind.
Are you rereading what I just read?
No, I just got something confused. I need to have coffee. I was thinking of driving to a coffee shop, but I ended up not doing that.
So what does it mean? Do you think I'm like Vanessa? I mean, what does that? What are the features?
Just I came in the room and they were already talking about me. I'm so popular. It's because that's wine spirit. Yes, it doesn't make any sense. Isa, I'm sorry, your language doesn't make any fucking sense. You're talking Spanish.
What?
Viene, vino, then?
Like, vino is like did come and wine. How is that the same thing?
Vino is did come and wine, yeah.
She literally just said vino is, did come and wine.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, to wine or to wine is not the same.
No, it's not the same.
Usually it's a coming.
Is the Advil like hard to get?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, it's stuffed in there pretty deep somewhere. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I like the Aeromexico Lounge better. It sounds fucking loud and proud. Oh, now you show up, you sick fuck.
Somebody here has to sponsor me. Okay. Yeah.
They were supposed to come and get us when you got here. You haven't, like, we have nothing. Isn't it kind of funny how so you guys don't have AT&T? And you didn't like automatically connect to an AT&T Wi-Fi hotspot? Well, you should consider that in the future.
Well, anyways, should be that or
Listen, personally, I think the Aeromexico Lounge is better.
Yeah. Aeromexico Lounge. So I thought it was something for everybody. You were there earlier. Why is it quieter?
Because it's quieter, and because that really cute girl just kept feeding me mimosas, like.
That's fine.
The lunch menu is trash. I don't want anything on that. What burger? Okay, where is it on the menu? Where is it on the menu? That's the Spanish side. Turn it over. Oh, this one is. Okay. No. I tried to eat those on the plane and they were terrible. But they gave me peanuts. Like, since when do they give out peanuts on airplanes?
Maybe they asked you.
They just had a basket full of bags of peanuts.
You actually like soybeans. You see their Twitter?
No, like a younger dude came by a minute ago and asked me if I wanted anything, and I said at the moment, of course.
You don't have like easy to grab Advil, dude. I have nothing like that.
I just don't remember where I put it in this bag.
Don't impact your entire thing.
Why are you guys listening to me?
Oh, thank you, whoever did that.
I did that.
Oh, thank you then. Oh my god, everybody's sharing their travel drama. Chris says, I sat beside an influencer on my flight. He's got an influencer world now. Her dog bit me a couple of times.
Should have shot that dog right there on the plate.
Is Chris buying that dog's house?
Oh man. I get the taco today.
That's right. That's great.
Do you guys like truffle mayonnaise?
Never had it.
I think truffle mayonnaise is fucking gross.
I'll look at that.
You think chocolate mayonnaise?
Come on,
Truffle. Truffle mayonnaise.
I love it. All I had in the dependency.
So Austin said when I arrive in Tulum, don't go to the American custom part, go to the Mexican one.
No, that'd be
Why would there be an American custom in Tulum? So they're thinking of the international or just Mexican. Right.
Well, should I tweet out a summary of the talk I want to do? Or should I leave more suspense?
No, you should just go do the talk. Do you think people who are going to be investors read summaries in advance?
I mean, some people might see it on Twitter.
No, they don't. People that have busy lives and are highly paid for decision making don't prepare in advance by reading Twitter about what people are going to speak about.
So related to that, how long of a memo do you think I should write? Because I was thinking about writing something like a collection of 10 short essays and explaining the concept. And basically, most of it being background information.
So you're going to write summaries, 10 summaries to introduce something you're going to speak about?
Well, the thing is, people don't understand why it's needed in terms of how the fiat world works. I basically need to create the entire mental framework that justifies, because the thing is, the organization itself I'm proposing is not within a category that exists. So if you're pitching, hey, it's a hedge fund or it's a startup, it's a category of thing people are already very familiar with it. So you can just get into what is it, right? The class is defined. I'm defining a new class.
Do it in 5 sentences, 3 if you can possibly do it in 3.
That doesn't work. That's to say that no one in the world today is actually interested in doing anything, and we're all fucked, and it'll only happen in 50 years.
What doesn't work? You can't describe it in five sentences.
Well, that's like saying, hey, can you convince someone who doesn't care at all about Bitcoin to become an ultra maximalist in 5 sentences?
But this is an introduction to your speech. This is like
No. Separate from the talk. No. It is separate from the talk. What I'm saying, the talk is basically one way of thinking about a subset of things, and the document that I want to put together is it's like if you have a fund thesis is the most similar thing to sort of document like a long form thesis.
Okay,
sort of
so
like,
the audience is in the investment community.
And it's not investment. I'm trying to start a nonprofit research institution. And I think only Bitcoiners are capable of understanding why such a thing would be necessary. Right? Because other things you have to explain, why are all the other research institutions alarmed? Because the thing is, people have a bias to assume someone else is taking care of XYZ thing that I'm not thinking about. So you first have to explain what is the nature of the world.
Michael, I think you're stealing the thunder right now. Fish, Dusty, and Nanya are about to... They're preparing to have explosive diarrhea for the majority of the rest of the day. And I don't know that people want to talk about the speech or the pan or the nonprofit to a detailed level. But I don't know how to answer your question as it relates to sort of the 10 dominant characteristics of why this nonprofit needs to exist. Because I don't understand who the audience of this communication would be.
Bitcoin billionaires.
Yep, the way that billionaires work when they're looking to own IP that would come out of a nonprofit is they buy the person. They don't buy the nonprofit. So they effectively own the researcher and all their outputs. That's how that works. And they typically own it while it's still inside of a university.
Yeah, so I'm effectively pitching myself.
Yeah, but you'd have to be attached to some research university.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. It's that the universities are very ineffective, and this is much, much more effective. This is a 10,000x sort of thing. There's a reason researchers are so unproductive. So when you're talking about owning things, people want, a bullshit big pharma play. I'm talking about people who have transcended that. It might only be at the decabillionaire level, if we're being honest. My view is that Bitcoin allows single-digit billionaires to think like decabillionaires. It's the people who don't like being poor. There's very few of those, but right, it's like, this is the thing I tweet. I think it's still at the top, because you can have Bitcoin at 10 million, you can be a billionaire. You still only get to buy the things that actually exist in the world at any given moment. So some people just have low standards. My guess is there's at least a handful of Bitcoin billionaires who have higher standards, and that's why they became Bitcoiners, and why they held. But I might be mistaken. It might be that everyone has low standards, and I'm just too early. Raphael saying researchers aren't productive on my scale of mumbo jumbo. Researchers aren't productive on the Raphael scale of SaaS software. If only medical researchers could progress at the speed of Raphael's as quickly as he can plug in Ethernet cables, cancer would be cured by now.
Generational homes are coming back, right? Duplexes, triplexes, those things are really coming out nice, right? Keeping them near you, or you keeping them on the edge.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do work at least 5-minute drive.
Yeah, I get what you mean. You're right.
I think right, it might be just a North American thing where, ship them out to a nursing home. I worked at a nursing home when I was younger, and I know how shit. I mean, I guess shit might be better now. We got more technology to kind of watch and monitor patients, but it was some people doing just disgusting things there. And I'm like, man, I never let my parents be in a nursing home where they could just like leave you shitty for hours and just do all kind of mean, nasty stuff. And they ain't got no agency. I mean, they got agency, but they ain't got no agency where they can complain about it. Because the workers they
But even during the COVID, how many murders have happened unaccounted for? They wanted inquiries. They wanted to look into it, and a lot of those places got lobbied and got closed. Those investigations didn't even start to begin. Especially when they did it in New York City, and probably thousands died.
I will pay money to be a weed caregiver when the time comes. I will pay.
We ain't that far apart in age. You be in a nursing home right along with me. What the fuck you talking about?
I'm gonna steal the tennis balls from under your cane.
Well, since we're on the subject, I know I shared with a few of you that I helped my father-in-law towards the end of his life. He died of ALS. And one of the things that I wish that I would have done, so I can share this with you, and it will help you later when you're taking care of your folks. If you're not able to work and you actually need to, be there 24/7, there is a program, IHHS. It's a federal program. They literally pay you to stay with your folks. So look into that if that, comes down the line for you.
Damn. They probably.
But I wasn't able to get it, and it's based on your income.
Okay, yeah.
It's based.
So which? Yeah, I'll take it though. If I any free money, any free assets, anything I can get for free, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
They won't let me get it.
So even if you have let's say like an adult child that has to stay home with the grandparent or whatever, they can receive money.
You said it's IHHS?
Yeah, it's in-home health services. Yeah.
Is it a form of unemployment? Is it a form of unemployment or?
Well, it's designed to help people with disabilities that can't care for themselves to have someone to be able to care for them, right? So I wasn't able to work when I was taking care of my father-in-law, but I didn't fucking know about this. And when I talked to a lawyer after the fact, she's like, you could have been getting $70,000 a month because they triple it or something, and it's based on your income, whatever you're making after you stopped to help these people, So it's fucking lucrative. Look it up. And it's a real income. So if you're looking to buy a house later, like I was saying, your adult child type of situation, they will count that. A bank would count that as actual income as well. It's a real job. So.
And you get a percentage of your own salary. So if I was making $150K or something, they give you a percentage of my salary, or
correct.
Is it a fixed
Yes,
income?
Sir.
Wow, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah. So, and I think that we really have gone away from what's real in the world with our people, taking care of our family, the elderly, and all of that. And I feel like this program really kind of supports that, what's real in life, and so I encourage you all to do that.
I'm actually sending some tips out to a couple people I know that can probably help them out a lot dealing with some of the stuff.
Well, I have a
racing game?
weird theory that society actually set it up like that so that we would be separated from our folks, and then we'd have to buy another house and grow the economy more, and instead of being combined with our folks and stuff. They kind of keep us separated to make more money, and that's why in America it's more common that you would put your dad in an old folks home versus in you all were just saying in the United Kingdom, it's less common. So That's my opinion.
No, I think the whole family structure they want to take apart. Like same example is like now you need both spouses to work, and now you send your kids to daycare. You know how many people I know? Well, my buddy's wife, she makes $60K a year, and she spends half of her salary just to spend it on daycare, like 20, 30K.
Yeah.
So it's just like it defeats the purpose of like even then. Why would you have kids that you're not gonna be able to raise or be in their life?
But
It's just
Jamal,
it's the whole point of it. Yeah, it's the.
Jamal, it's done by design.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Hold on, Jamal. People don't also cut back. Like, there's a girl I work with. She's a director, okay, and who sits in front of me. And she has 2 kids. She's in her early 40s. Her kids are like 5 and 7, whatever. And she works full time. Her husband works full time. I think he's like an engineer, and she's an accountant. And like, she lives in this $600,000 house. She's driving an Acura. I think her husband drives like a Lexus. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. You could downgrade to a $250,000 house and drive like 10 or 15,000 Hondas or Toyotas, right? And then you could just work part time if you wanted to work. Even I know this sounds corny, but a bullshit job like Costco or something like that, 15, 20 hours a week, couple nights a week, so you can be there with the kids. But they don't want to do that because the problem is, Jamal, look at how much higher education costs. This girl went to University of Michigan. It's like $20,000 a year, and mine she graduated probably like almost 20 years ago. But like, in order to get a return on her investment, she feels like she needs to work. But people also don't want to sacrifice either. So it's a double-edged sword. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. I think it's ridiculous. Like, you got to pick up another job just to pay for your daycare for somebody else to raise your kids. It's just, yeah, but it goes for what you're saying. Like, they want to take away the parents. We used to live up until 2 generations ago, even North America, they used to live into multi-generational homes. Right? Even like in Africa, like where I'm from, like, you get married, you move across your land, the other side of your estate, and you build your house there with your wife. Right? So you're living in the same estate or within your tribe, but now they took that away from us.
The other thing too, like Jamal, is like I said, people don't want to sacrifice it. One of my friends, he's all bitching about how high his bills are. I'm like, you don't need to lease 2 brand new cars. That's fine, you want to lease one, whatever, so you have always one good running car, but people also don't, it's a double-edged sword, because like I said, people don't want to sacrifice to maybe reduce their standard of living or whatever.
Yeah, no, you're right though. They're stressing. They
They want to have like
the situation.
they want to have 2 fucking Lexuses, these $600,000-$700,000 mansions, and I'm like, look, people think wealth is measured by money. It's not. Wealth is measured by time. So what do you want to be? That person that makes 400 G's a year at work, right? Or 300, 400, and you have to work like 7 to 7 every day. Weekends you have to log in. Or would you rather sit on your ass, be a good investor, and collect 10 G's a month for doing nothing? I would sit on my ass, make 10 G's a month for doing nothing as a successful investor. Because you know what I have? My time. Time is the most valuable asset you have.
And if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in California, call Jessica Lane, because you're always in the right lane with Jessica.
But that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like, job stands for one thing. JOB stands for just over broke. A salary is the disease, the drug they give you to forget about your dreams. It's like, but again, they don't teach you this in school. They teach you how to be an employee. And they don't teach you how to be an investor, because teachers know nothing about money. And again, it's by design. They don't want to teach you about money, investing, and taxes.
No, I agree. Our education system is we're trained to be corporate slaves. Like, you see a lot of people come from Eastern world, European and Asians. Like, they come in to have more of entrepreneurship. Like, for some reason they all go from businesses. They come here, they work for 2 years, and they open up their own businesses. Us, we think about either working for the government or working for a good corporation. Like, that's what we think ideally is a good successful life.
hardcore Marxists and don't know anything about money. So to your point, like, what does school teach you to do? You have to show up when the bell rings. You have to eat when the bell rings. I mean, our school system is very similar to prison. Look at where prisoners eat. Look at how prisoners eat lunch. Look at how prisoners are transported. Same kind of bus, same kind of places.
I seen it. There was a meme a while ago that like, well, I think it was the American education system. They're like, why do they do this? It goes, first of all, most of us are tribalistic. We usually listen to instructions from our own family and our elders. So they had to bring in the education system where they could take us away from our elders and from our influence. They could program us. And you said the whole point of the bell is so they could prepare us to program us to prepare us to be corporate slaves, pretty much. We don't question, we don't question anything, Our lunch is a half an hour. Our lunch, our break is 15 minutes. Like, is why? It's because of the, they prepared us for the corporate system, yeah.
Well, the school system is an assembly line. Like, more and more people are pulling their kids out of public schools. They're either homeschooling or giving them private schools because they look at the garbage. But I personally think you could revamp our education system. If you spend $6,000 a year on per student or $10,000, you give them $10,000 and they get to pick like what they get to do with that money. Like, you look at Japan and China, how advanced they are, or Southeast Asia, like Singapore, Hong Kong, South Korea. They're not fucking teaching 8-year-old kids gender pronouns.
It's fucked, man. It's fucked. Even here, they teach sex curriculum here. Yeah, they teach sex curriculum. I think when you're 8 years old, I think grade 4, grade 5, they're teaching already sex education. And one of my colleagues, he's telling me his kid brought some papers home. He's freaking out, and his kid is only like what? I don't know, like 10, 12 years old. It's retarded.
Yeah, but again, like, that's by design.
When you delay sexual education, you just actually make it more possible for people to become sexually abused. So even though it sounds counterintuitive, the best thing you can do for people's sexual health education is give them a good foundation early so they know their body, their rights, and the difference between.
Yeah, but you also don't want to teach them it's okay to chop your dick off and be whatever gender you want at 8 years old and teach them gender pronouns.
I just find that to be a really ridiculous statement because you're not teaching the child how to do that. You're just explaining to them that there's other people in the world and don't be a fucking dick if you come into contact with somebody that's like this. Don't be fucking surprised.
We tend to.
And my child is 16 and she's just now learning about that in her California education system.
They shouldn't be learning about that, period.
She's 16, bro.
If you want to fucking do that, you're fucked in the head to begin with.
What?
If you want to go transgender, you clearly failed as a parent if your kid's a fucking transgender.
That's such an unfair statement.
No, it's not.
No, because you're saying that the parent has something to do with their sexual orientation, and that's not true.
No, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
You can be gay and be raised by fucking Christian. Fine. It happens all the time. These closeted fucking
I'm talking about transgender.
Christians out here all fucking day long, back-channeling fucking people.
Jessica, don't get worked up over Nick. Nick is the kind of guy who probably had, showers with Biden. That's how we keep him straight and northern.
Huh? I don't vote fucking for Joe Biden.
No,
so I'm sorry, what are you doing? Nick? How is any of what you're doing productive?
It is. I'm just saying that.
No, it's
if
not.
If you don't want your child to learn about it, just don't take your child to school that day or take them out of public education.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, there you go, Nick. End of the statement.
My tax dollars shouldn't be paying for that shit.
Well, you know what? It's state by state now, the way Trumpy's going to do it. So you just cry your head off and call your state representative, and you're going to be okay.
Job trying to label me one.
Well, you sound like one.
Go read my profile and figure out how I vote.
I ain't got time to read your fucking profile.
Exactly,
Thank you,
because
bye.
you're ignorant and you don't want to learn.
No, because I'm busy.
But you're
Because I
sitting,
have
on
a fucking life.
you're sitting on an app saying you're busy. Okay.
I am. I got my hands full. I literally just ate a marshmallow. And I think I'm actually fucking done, believe it or not, folks.
Jessica, I think you just.
I wish I had a camera I could show you all.
No, but Jessica, I think the point that Nick was trying to say that we're sending kids to school to IC, we teach them about morals. Yeah, I won't think about the sex identity. Like, I agree with you, but I disagree with you because when you get to that in depth, me as a grown up, like most of us grown adults, we don't know all those 30 genders and whatever. We don't even understand that we're grown, right? So for me, I think, like you said, the basics of what we were taught, us in our 30s, I'm an 80s baby, so they were moral. What's right from wrong, how to treat people, how to treat your neighbor. If you teach a child morals, how to be good, ethical, and have a good work ethic, I think that's the basis that we should maybe school. But going in depth and teaching them it's okay for a guy to kiss another guy, or it's okay for you to become this, or maybe, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's just getting a little bit out of hand and what the education system was meant for, right? So I think that's what he was trying to say, and I know you guys are trying to maybe troll each other after, but
I'm not trying to troll anybody. What I'm trying to
I
say
didn't want to
is,
disrupt the room though, but he was trying to make a point like.
as a parent, that's not how it's being taught. They're not going, hey, you know, my daughter, her name's Lily, she's 16. Hey, Lily, it's okay to become a dude. Like, are you okay?
No,
like, do you really think that that's how it goes?
Every school, but there are schools that
Come
do.
on. Like, I'm in California. I'm in the most liberal fucking state in Los
But there
Angeles
are
County.
schools, whether it's conservative or liberal.
It's insane. No, that's not how it goes.
I'm not at all schools, I agree.
But they're doing it.
Yeah, Dawn's dead on right. And the other thing too is, like, we have no control over how our money is being spent. Like these politicians.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
No,
It's
we
called your
don't.
state
No, we don't.
representative. You can write a letter. You can do whatever you want because now it's down to the states.
Pockets of all these corporations, big look, the three branches of government are not legislative, executive, judicial. It's big pharma, big oil, and big tech. Believe me, fascism has come here.
I wholeheartedly agree with you there, Nick. But what I'm saying is take a chill pill with the fucking transgender bullshit because it's y'all make everything such a big fucking deal. I don't know what state you live in, but I'm telling you, I'm experiencing the fucking lessons right now. My daughter's 16. Hear my words. They're not teaching it to her when she was 8. They're not teaching it to her when she was 6. They're not teaching it to her when she was even in the 8th grade. She's in the 10th grade.
No, but they're even indoctrinating the corporations. Like, at my company, people are putting their fucking gender pronouns in their fucking
That's right,
email.
because I want my transgender friends to know that they're seen. I want them to feel comfortable. That's why I do that.
Look.
But Jessica, shouldn't you not just have a moral good heart and just like them for them being a human being?
Yeah,
That's what I'm trying to say.
No,
if you teach someone morality, why do you need to care about identity politics?
Also, I'm a little bit masculine, so I just want to be clear that I'm a she/her.
They think that
You know what I
they're
mean?
heroes. They think
I
that
live in
they're brave.
California.
They think that they're brave and they want all this special treatment. Like that idiot that was complaining that the bakery wouldn't bake a cake for him that, because he was gay. Just go to a different one. Let the fucking free market figure it out. Let that business fail, especially nowadays with Google reviews, Yelp. If a company does bad business, right, whether it's discriminating against gays, lesbians, trans, whatever, let them fail. Let the free market figure it out. Don't go and waste all this money on these frivolous lawsuits. We got starving children, and we have much bigger problems in this country. I mean,
So why are we discussing transgender?
No,
It's going to be taught in school. Everybody's going to be fine. Nobody's going to turn gay or turn transgender because they taught it in school. That's a ridiculous thought. So let it go.
No, it's not. Look at the amount of gays and transgenders now versus like 40 years ago.
That's because
Amada speaking.
I just want to say, to assume that the education system isn't influencing our children don't come off mic, please, I'm begging you, is insane to me. It doesn't matter what these kids are learning, they are influenced by the education. They're influenced by what they learn in our history. We could see that every single day by how ignorant people are about the facts, about history, about what's happened in this country, in this world. So I get what you're saying, Jessica, that, no one's going to turn gay, but let's be honest, these kids' minds are easy to mold, and they are in school from 8 to 3. People see these kids more than their parents do, so I really think we have to be careful when we say, oh, they're just going to teach it in schools, everyone will be fine, as if the children don't spend most of their lives in these classrooms.
Okay, but also,
Marcus, that's a very good fact.
I would say that I would argue the point that they're not getting it from education; they're getting it from social media, and they're not in that's like a health course, one section of one unit that is being taught in school. That is not, they're going to school and having fucking gay pride, fucking whatever these people think. If you see a rainbow, it's like the end of the fucking world. My point is that it's social media. It's not education that's making this happen. And the reason that you see more, one more point. The reason you see 40% increase in transgender is because of safety. Because people feel safe enough to come out and say, hey, yes, it is, bro. I have transgender friends that just came out when they're 40 years old because they felt safe enough to do so.
Nick, you gotta stop yelling you just gotta let her finish. It's only been like 15 seconds, right? Jessica, congratulations to your 40-year-old friends. That's amazing. We're not talking about adults. We're talking about
That's
kids.
part of the fucking statistic.
We gotta stop moving the goalpost, though, Jessica. We're talking about children being taught about sexuality and transgenderism in a health class. That's it. Sexuality and transgenderism have nothing to do with your health. Safe sex has something to do with your health. Learning about your reproductive system has something to do with your health. Learning about what a penis does when it goes into a vagina and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But not talking about if you think boys are cute, then you are gay. If you think girls are cute, then you are
But that's not the lesson.
If you are not happy in your body, if you look at your chest and are not happy with
Nobody says that to children.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody says that to children.
Here's the thing,
Nobody says that to children. They're not saying that. That is not the conversation. Y'all are delusional if you think that that's real.
Hold on, you guys. Hold on. Instead of Instead of teaching, because the way to teach transgenderism, right, is to normalize gender dysphoria, in my eyes, for children, right? Normalizing gender dysphoria for children is very, very, very dangerous. I think only a doctor and a therapist has that right to speak to a child about what they identify as and what they're going through. No teacher should be teaching a class full of kids about transgenderism. It's a mental health issue. It's not a sexuality issue. People just need to stop teaching that shit in schools and get to a doctor if that's what's happening to your kid.
Well, I agree with that.
But how come the gays, LGBTQ community, they get a whole month that's dedicated to them, but the veterans get 2 fucking days? Who's the hero?
There is a Veterans Appreciation Month. There is.
And they don't get time off from work.
Wait, we don't have enough months.
And they should.
So let's get that straight.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like, why do they get a month? Why do they get a day? It's just ridiculous.
I mean,
they're just gay.
Everything has a month. No,
The acronym is
military has
just
a
so
month.
you
Women
folks
has
know.
a month. Men have a month. There is
Women
a month for
should get a
everything.
month.
How you choose to celebrate those months is on you. So if you're paying more attention to the LGBT month, I mean that too. I mean, listen, if you guys aren't out here giving packages to the veterans who are abroad and whatnot, that's on you. I do, but if you don't, go off, I guess. Complain about something but don't make a difference. God. Anyways, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I hope you all have a plate. I hope you all have a plate.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much.
Except for Jason. I kind of low-key want him to have some dried turkey and some awful mashed potatoes this year.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. I'm glad Ice didn't get you yet. Knowledge. I'll be calling.
I'm sneaky. I'm a sneaky one.
Sneaky.
I mean, how can you wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving and then go
Because
on
I
about
don't
getting a dry
like
plate
you.
of turkey?
Because
and
I don't like
somebody
you,
to
and I'm
get-
honest about
you
it.
want
I don't
somebody
like.
to get caught by ice.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
you just have it for everybody. It just doesn't make any sense. Like,
Yes, I can have an insult for everybody in this room. I'll cook everyone right now. Right now, if that's what you want, Jason, but I won't. You know why? Because some of you, I love you. I love Ayu. I love Tally, Pocket, Knowledge. Don't know Jamal. I think Audrey's probably cool. I even like Frank. Frank can be interesting. I don't know Jessica, but you seem lovely. And Lululemon, I love you so much. Colin's okay. I like Claw's picture. I don't know Nick, Ashley. I think I met you somewhere else before I met you on Clubhouse, and I love you especially for that. And everyone in the goo, except for you, Jason, except for you. I will never forget that time you tried to ask me how I can get Koreans to be more accepting of gun rights. That'll always be weird to me. You are a weirdo, and I hate you. Never forget that. I personally, everything, that was it was just a weird conversation, and for that, I hope that your mother pours cement in her vagina and never reproduces ever again.
well, Puerto Rican, I mean, sounds like you'll never forgive me.
I will not.
For that, I mean, that seems pretty, like a pretty
I am
low-
actively building a time machine so that I could go back in time and kick your mother in the stomach while she's pregnant.
Yeah, well, it seems like you're really bothered by something that's not consequential. I don't understand.
No, I'm just a troll on the internet. Suck my dick.
So, yeah, you'll always hold it against me forever.
Failed
and
coat
ever.
hanger abortion ass motherfucker.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is an important question. How do we help Korean Americans, Japanese Americans, Chinese Americans accept
How
the
do
gun
we help
culture?
this
How do we
chap
help
lip
them grow
doo-doo
it?
in the stool white man to be better? Is the real question here.
What makes you ask that question, sort of Rican?
What can we do to make this vanilla-skinned pasty bastard better?
What's wrong with being a white person?
There's certain whites that we love like Pocket, and then there's you, and that's the problem. Happy Thanksgiving, Girl Scout cookie. I love you too. There's another person of chillism that I like who doesn't fucking suck. Be more like Samoa, and maybe we might like you more.
Jason, what
What
you do,
does that
bro?
mean?
I do like Jason though.
Yeah, sort of Rican, I asked you, how can we help Korean Americans to be more accepting of guns, more engaged with gun culture? That's a real problem. I mean, that's something I work on every
You're
year,
talking
not every
about
day. But
a country where it is illegal for them to own firearms unless they are of a special job class. What they do when they're fully Americanized is different than your usual first gen. Usually by the third gen, such as actually I'm second gen, but my son, he would be a third generation if we were going by my mom's side. He'll probably be fully naturalized and desensitized to that conversation. Like, that's just something that takes time. But again, I think it's very weird to ask me, considering that I grew up, like, it's just an odd conversation to have. And I told you it was weird when we were having it, and you kept asking me, and that's a lot of why I don't like you.
Hi, moderators. This is Joy. I hate to get in between this pointless squabble between two morons, but I just wanted to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving, and may joy come to you all, regardless of whether or not you're a salty bitch who wishes people have dry plates. I hope that you all have joy now, love in your heart, and God bless you all. May Jesus Christ.
So I'm just going to explain a few rules. We have rules in here. One rule, don't call women a bitch unless you are gay.
Oh, sorry, you fucking faggot bitch.
Accidentally moderated that. Whoops.
Oh my god. How are people alive like that? I don't get it.
Honestly, I am a salty bitch because I'm over here making a turkey. It's stressful. It's in the oven now, though, so I can feel better about everything.
I just want to normalize not having turkey for Thanksgiving.
You know, it's just one of those things. My son asked for it. If not, I feel like we wouldn't have had it, but he did, so I gotta do it because I love him.
Yo, wow, you miserable people on the app and not with your family for Thanksgiving.
I'm in the kitchen right now, Miguel.
I
What are you
literally
doing on?
just finished, and I'm
It's
sitting on the
only,
couch waiting for them to come downstairs. So
Why aren't you with your boyfriend, Miguel?
Hey,
What?
yo. I'm
He's
actually
suffering
heading to the
from
fam's
loose
crib.
booty syndrome.
See, I can't talk crazy because I got people here with me in the car.
The society needs to go back to God. Like these people, like not all there's a difference, and I like, but I don't want a fighter fighting like on behalf of just land. You need to fight because you are doing it for the case of a God, not for the case of, because otherwise, how are you gonna, like, what's to say that you're not gonna be crass? Look at your other friends that he's writing in the chat, friends. If he says he's a Ghazawi that like has over 200 people killed.
I'm not looking at one.
No, the guy that's mocking him. And the reason why he's mad at you, Prince, is because you allegedly stole his girl from him. It doesn't matter. But it's like whatever, like these people are psychologically not being normal anymore. Hey Joy, how are you?
Hey, I agree with you. I think you should conquer Israel in the name of Allah. I think that's the only logical
That's
reason.
not what I said, Joy.
You just said you have to,
I didn't
you
say
said you should
conquer
do it in
Israel
the name of
No,
God.
I'm saying that I'm saying that when you fight against persecution, you have to be somebody that is rooted in God. Otherwise, you're not going to be principled, and you might do things that are very unhinged and messes up the entire operation.
Take yourself, for example.
What is it, Diego?
Since John, take yourself, for example. As a godless man, the levels that you're willing to stoop to in order to get your way is nearly. I don't know any limits. Let me repeat what you said. You said you're going to lose a tenant and clear out and make every room into a studio to continue this madness. Did I get that correct?
Yeah, the future and the now moment is video, so I'm gonna try to monetize it. I have no other choice. I gotta pay my mortgage.
There you go. I mean, you could prostitute yourself in other ways.
Why? I could just record you prostituting your life on a stupid fucking chit chat app for little schoolgirls. I mean,
Joy, I'm recording you right now.
good. Record all you want. I'm recording you too. Your Jew hate is gonna be profitable on the X platform because, according to Elon Musk, there is no such thing as racism, bigotry, or Jew hate. There's just this thing called Jew politics. So you guys are my bread and butter, and I thank you all. And Prince, I know you're a piece of shit, but if you want a piece of turkey, dude, you could have a little turkey. It's okay. We'll share it with you.
Joy, happy Thanksgiving.
What was that?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, happy Thanksgiving. I would have texted you, Princessia, but I don't have your number.
You can text Diego. He'll forward it.
I did. Please forward the message. Thank you, Diego.
Are you celebrating it with family?
Yep, I'm going to Rivers Casino to hang out with my favorite card dealer.
There you go. I mean, that's kind of sad. That's kind of sad. I'm not gonna lie.
And Diego, I can't believe you called him back. You made his day.
Oh, thank you.
You made my day too, but I was like, wow, Diego's actually calling Edmund.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is the first time I haven't been with family in a long time for Thanksgiving, but unfortunately, my situation here requires me to be here for now.
Donna, you could always go and hang out with a friend of mine. His name is Rico. He's gonna be alone.
Oh, tell him, text him. If you got his number, text him. Tell him Edmund's going to the casino to get a Thanksgiving dinner. They have a very good dinner at the casino for Thanksgiving.
That I believe. This is an Illinois casino, though?
Yeah, it's publicly traded. It's called Rush Street Properties. You could look it up on the NYSE.
The only thing about it is that these Midwestern kind of like old boomers and stuff, they really don't demand find much out of the casino, so I would be surprised if it was a quality casino.
It is. It's the top grossing casino in the state of Illinois. It's a good casino. I mean, honestly, I'm not like making it up. It's top notch.
Casinos are. All right.
I just saw Tim Dillon, the famous comedian podcaster. I just saw him do stand-up comedy there, and it was honestly hilarious. It was amazing.
See, now that guy knows how to make a podcast.
That fucking guy knows how to make a podcast. But he goes on Joe Rogan. I mean, he's got a lot of. He's fun. He's very funny. Like, you should have heard I recorded his show, and the stuff he says is fucking spot on. And
he's a bit of a Jew hater, isn't he?
No, most of these people don't hate the Jews. They compete with the Jews, but they don't hate the Jew. Unlike you guys, you don't even compete with the Jews because you guys don't even record anything. You don't publish anything. Maybe Princessia is finally catching on, but you, Diego, you're the fucking bag in the air full of wind with no platform, no audience. Conceptista has, all my accounts is your whole Instagram. You don't even have anything on there.
Mine is Diego's, so it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you think my stuff is Diego's stuff?
No, I said whatever is mine is Diego's. So it doesn't matter if he records. I record.
I know, I get it. You're his assistant. You're his secretary.
This hurts though. You think I couldn't get 100,000 views?
You know how hard I work over here, and I don't get any views. I'd like to see you even attempt to compete with my fucking bullshit 3 views, 2 views. 2 people are watching you on YouTube Live right now.
You're gonna have to hang on because I'm working on this book, inspired by things that Randy said, but then he doesn't have the balls to publish. I'm working on that first.
Are you using ChatGPT?
But Joy, unlike you, let me tell you the difference between how I'm doing my work versus your work. I keep everything private, and then I edit things properly, and then produce it in a way that's artistic, not just some visual of you streaming things.
Yeah, it's smart. Good for you. Good for you. Congratulations. Clean it up. Make it professional, and you'll succeed. Unfortunately, I'm lazy.
Have you seen the other YouTube video I made? The one about Palestine?
Trash bag, Joy. You look like a trash bag.
Prince, take your Temu feather jacket and your dry ass turkey.
You're bald-headed, you're skinny, you're disgusting body.
Okay, Prince, can I ask you a question?
Disgusting face.
Hold on, Prince, hold on. Okay, Joy does not attack you more than he attacked Diego. Joy attacks Diego regularly. Diego never behaves the way you just behaved. Why is that?
Because Diego's got dandruff and Prince has got retardation.
Like, Diego just carries himself with more class. You claim yourself as a Muslim. Why are you speaking like that? Like, Joy is God.
Because he's trash.
So why speak like that?
Prince is trash. That's why. He calls me trash. That's the projection.
Joy, I'm not anti-Prince.
Your jacket looks like a trash bag, Prince, and you have the trash bag brain. You're a low IQ fucking illiterate.
You're a 49-year-old man who records fucking rooms and posts them.
This is cutting edge for a 42-year-old guy. I hate to tell you this, but I'm doing things that nobody else is even doing.
You have no life, dude.
You're absolutely right, but this is my life. So I'm actually, in my opinion, this is actually a worthwhile thing to do.
Your opinion doesn't mean jack shit, douchebag.
Your opinion doesn't mean jack shit. Look at your party hat. Why do you have a party hat? Because you lose your account all the time? Because you're a psychopath neurotic. You're a fucking criminal. You're a terrorist, low IQ idiot. Relevant? You're not relevant. If you disappeared, no one would think of you. No one talks about you. No one cares about you, Prince.
1,000 people and raped people on the way in order to free the Palestinian prisoners is not an appropriate equivalence at all. October 7th was a terrorist attack whose purpose, first and foremost, was to massacre civilians and to terrorize the Israelis. It wasn't about rescuing people, and even if it was done in a way that I consider to be completely illegitimate.
Yeah, well, this is... so first of all, let me just clarify. I obviously disagree with any targeting of civilians, but I think this is one of those things where the initial hysteria, and this is very similar to COVID. You know, when COVID first happened, people just completely freaked out. And then people have just been conditioned by that fear that media puts into you when, you know, you see people falling in China, and then everybody got freaked out for years from COVID because they saw that video of that guy falling in.
Diego, which part are you rolling your eyes at? If you can speak, I don't know if you can.
I think he's rolling the part about that you're playing something while we're having a convo.
Guy for saying that this was obviously targeted at civilians.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure if it was the safety.
Are you guys that delusional? Like really that delusional?
Wait. No. Let's ask him. John, what do you think that the point of Hamas was? You think they went on a suicide mission to kill a few Israelis?
Oh, 100%. It was a coordinated terrorist strike, and they thought
they were just blessed by God. Allah Himself blessed them without having the Israelis respond for 6 hours.
Yeah, it was a good attack.
Just serendipity.
It was a good attack. The point is, hold on a second. You can just keep forcing questions, but if you don't want to listen, the point is, sometimes you're the bug and sometimes you're the windshield. The Palestinians found out that they were the bug, not the windshield. That's the truth of the situation. And whatever October 7th was and whatever happened, it's irrelevant now because there's no such thing as the past. There's no such thing as the future. There's barely this thing called a now. And if you want to be in joy, you have to be in the now. And this is my criticism philosophically of why you guys are retarded. Because you don't live in the now. You losers live in Jew-hate land in the past and Jew-hate land in the future. You're so far away from joy, you idiots don't know it. And Prince, you're on like a different level of stupidity than these idiots. At least these idiots are somewhat, retarded. You're a super retard. You're going to end up dying in a terrorist activity. You're going to die a young man, Prince, because you're a low IQ moron.
Correction for the record, I am the terrorist.
I know, you're going to die. You're going to die.
I want to ask you a question. John, on October 7th, who was the main character of that story? If you made a movie about it, who were the main characters?
Ooh, I would do the Supernova Fest people at the Supernova Fest. I would do it from their perspective.
They're the main characters?
If I were to make if I were to make a movie and I had to choose who the main reference is or who the main perspective is, it would be a group of young Israelis going to the Supernova Fest, having a good time, and then their lives being turned upside down. That's what my movie would be about.
By Apache helicopters.
You asked me how I would make the movie? That would be my perspective, is from the perspective of the young people at the event who were slaughtered.
See,
I have another perspective. If I were to make a movie about them, I would make a movie about a bunch of dumb, reservist, IDF terrorists, already taking drugs out of reality, and all of a sudden, a bunch of freedom fighters land on the land.
Palestinian Patriots. That's what I would call the movie. Palestinian Patriots.
And all of a sudden, because these people were drugs, they thought the Hamas fighters were shooting at them while actually their own people were killing them.
Yeah, Hannibal Directive. That's what we would secretly call the film in the subtitle below Palestinian Patriots. It would be called Palestinian Patriots, the movie, a Hannibal Directive. You're so stupid. I mean, you guys are literally delusional. You're retarded.
Joy, are you denying that the Israeli, the idea of actually shelled their own people in the kibbutzes?
Yes, 100%. That did not happen.
Go look up the.
Put it in the link. This is Thanksgiving over here. We're celebrating our Pilgrim Pride with some turkey and some stuffing. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. I don't really care about what you have to say. Put it in the chat.
I'm gonna put it. Get ready.
Listen, when you do your first terrorist activity, Prince, you're going to get shot down dead and your whole life will be meaningless because you are a meaningless piece of shit. You're going to die a young man in a terrorist activity. You're going to fail and you're going to die. Some fucking guy named Yaakov, some 18-year-old fucking Yiddishkeit Ashkenazi Jew is going to blow your fucking brains out when you try to do some kind of terrorist activity.
But then you have to ask what was Kobe's life like? He was on Clubhouse. Then he went to do security for that event, and then he just got shot in the head or whatever that is. Like, what's the point, dude?
There is no point. You should try to avoid military conflicts. That's my opinion.
Exactly. So making a movie about the party goers being the main characters is not a good look.
You asked me how. Listen, if I were to make it for commercial success, I would want from the perspective of the victims. That would be my formula for the.
But they're not victims. They're people going to.
They're not victims. When your wife and your children die in a terrorist activity, you're gonna say they're not victims? You're a fucking
Don't say
idiot.
that.
Don't say that. Stop telling me what to say and what not to say. I don't really give a fuck about you people. I'm ready to go enjoy my Thanksgiving dinner and have a good time.
You're speaking
At the
on behalf
Ramallah
of
Inn.
you.
The Ramallah Inn.
Yo,
The Red Roof Inn.
Diego, the receipts are in the chat. And there's a report that came out 3-4 days ago, by a civilian committee, which actually.
Prince, what is your point, though, in suggesting that the Hannibal Directive is real? Like, what is your point? Do you really think that the Zionists want to kill their own fucking family members? You're so retarded.
You claim it didn't happen, and now you're asking me for my point.
I'm going to look at the link just because I'm curious to see what the article says based off of why you think this way. Let me look at your link and see why you think this way. To me, you have to understand that this is an illogical way of thinking.
That's crazy. I had no choice. That's crazy, dude.
Diego, you said that Apache helicopters fired on the partygoers?
We have videos of the helicopters over some fields, right?
The implication is that they fired and killed people on the ground, right?
They did.
What ammunition do they carry?
Right, with Israeli citizens. There's a recording.
What ammunition do they carry?
There's a recording of a Hamas fighter calling the IDF, telling them, listen, I have this amount of hostages. Do not open fire. What do? They open fire and kill all.
So we should find a ton of 30 millimeter by 113 millimeter Apache helicopter rounds in that area, right?
But you know why we wouldn't find them?
I mean, all over the place, and tow missiles.
You know why
right?
we wouldn't find them? Because the Israeli government refused to have international bodies investigate.
So they cannot.
Okay, I just looked at your link. There's nothing decisive in there that says these people were even killed in the house. I don't know why that you think that link at Times of Israel has anything to do with something called a Hannibal Directive, which I assume is an older like government document. I mean, do you have the link to the actual Hannibal Directive government statement from the Knesset?
Thank you.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Okay, so you're gonna do that. Why do all the Jews do that?
Hello?
Maybe being a Jew is necessary.
Diego, it sounds a lot like this was the case with Shireen Abu Akleh, which they denied sniping her, assassinating her for months. They refused to have American officials investigate her death because she was an American citizen. And what happens later? They, admit it. They admit it. Yes, we did. And this is not the first time they've done this. And then you have hundreds and thousands of cases of them lying. They fucking opened fire on Italian soldiers in Lebanon. They flipped the Italian government against them. Hilarious, They killed...
Prince, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it in your Timu jacket with your little black feathers? Go get your AR-15 polished up and punch the barrel a couple times. You're going to need it, Prince. Your Timu jacket isn't enough camouflage to win the war. And you're not here for 60 hours a week like Diego and Princessia. You can't even keep an account going for more than a week till it gets deleted. You're not winning the war, Prince. You're losing the war. You're a loser. A loser and a liar. You're a loser and a liar.
You lost the debate, Joy.
You are a loser and you're a liar. I didn't lose no debate. There's no such thing as a debate. You're just a loser and a liar.
Weak Jew. Just like the rest of them.
Weak Jew. Your Timu jacket for $19.99 doesn't even fit you, and your little micro hands probably can't even fully pull the trigger on your AR-15, you little fucking bitch.
You want to try? Can I try to pull the trigger on your hand?
Who do you think would win in a fist fight, me or you, Prince? How tall are you, and what's your weight class?
I swear to God Almighty, Wallah, I would bury you.
You wouldn't win in a fight. I don't think so.
Wallah, I would beat the shit out of you.
Do you do jujitsu? Do you do jujitsu?
I would
Prince, ارجع لربك. ليش بضلك تسب؟
ما بصير.
أنا بعرف شوي عربي حبيبي أنا بعرف شوي عربي أخوان شكرا Habibi, you can't win and fight against me. Your tiny little hands are half the size of my hands. I am 6'3" super Jew. I will crush you. I will crush you like my people crush the people of Java. I will crush you like the way my people crush your people in the Lebanon. I will crush you like the way my people crush the people in Iran. We will crush you. The Ashkenazi Khazar kingdom will rule the world. The Zionist Greater Israel Project of the Khazarian conspiracy peoples will run the world, and we will do it all from the Bank of England in the square mile of England, where my greatest uncle, my Khazarian king, Mr. Rothschild runs the world. We are winning. You see how retarded you are, Prince?
Through his trauma, he has gone through a lot of trauma in his life, so he uses us to like try to get through that. So we accept him.
I run a YouTube channel dedicated to comedy and making fun of low IQ people like yourself who are head and dandruff sufferers. And you have to shop on Temu because you don't have a job because you're on this app 50 hours a week. At least Diego is retired, but you guys don't even have a career under your belt. What do you guys have other than a bunch of Jew hate on Clubhouse? That's all you're hanging on to. That's all you got. I'm trying to liberate you, dummies. You can't liberate me. I'm already free. You dummies are still fucking trapped in your Jew hate stupidity. You guys are young retards.
I really appreciate when you talk
Give
to
us
us.
a break, Diego. Give us a break. Just
No,
put it
Prince,
down
I
for
don't mind.
5 minutes.
I enjoy joy. He gives me joy.
Oh my days.
Prince, you hear that? I give an Arab woman more joy than a prince. That, look at my PTR. That is the picture of freedom, the picture of liberty itself. Do you even know what liberty is? You probably don't know what liberty is because you are a low IQ Jew hating conspiracy terrorist.
Fuck the Jews, bitch. Bye.
Freedom from Prince. Bye, Prince. That's a rage quit. Can I get a scoreboard rage quit point? Boom! Scoreboard rage quit. He claims I can't debate. He rage quit. Put it on the board. Point. Point. Put it on the board.
Let the record show Joy has 1 point for congratulations.
Boom, ba boom, ba boom.
But like all your other rage quits prior to this, we haven't kept up.
Boom, ba boom, ba boom. Rage quit. Boom, ba boom, ba boom. Boom, ba boom, ba boom. Rage quit. Randy. Prince. Listen, Arabs get very sensitive and angry because they are unwilling to let go of their position. There will be peace in the Middle East eventually.
It's because the Jew is allowed to do whatever and say whatever with impunity. They kill with impunity. They talk with impunity. They just do with impunity, and so that's all it is.
Listen, the Jews have one problem and one problem only. It's called geography. They decided to create the state of Israel in the worst possible place in the fucking planet. They should have moved that shit to Brazil. They should have moved that shit to Argentina. They should have moved that shit to Panama. But they fucked up. They chose the location, which is geostrategically the worst place in the world because you're surrounded by nothing but haters. They're called Muslims. They hate the Jews in every way, no matter what kind of Muslim you are. It's like you're yin to your yang, you're black to your white. The Jews in Israel don't have it easy. They are fucked. For the next 100 years, they will suffer terrorism. It will never end.
Let's have a serious conversation. Why do you believe that any Muslim, hates the Jew?
It's tied up into yin and yang. It's black and white. It's hate versus good versus hate.
Okay, you're just saying metaphors right now. You're not.
No, it's the pairing of opposites. It's the pairing of opposites.
So Diego claims that we should love each other, right, Diego? Because we're both lunar.
Love.
They're both lunar. Both right backwards.
They're very connected.
Black rock.
It's like a family. You know, people say things.
See how much like similarities Diego is bringing between the Jew and the Muslim?
There's similarities, but what I'm saying is that
so why would we hate
it's a political conflict because each side is essentially an ethno-state.
That's not my question, Joy. That's not my question.
What is your question?
You said that the Muslim, no matter what the Muslim is, will hate the Jew. My question to you is, why do you say that? Don't start giving me metaphors. You're saying
Again,
that Muslims,
it's
so you're saying-
political. You don't understand
so
that
you're
within
saying that- okay,
Israel
fair,
and within
fair.
Judaism,
So
it's political.
So you're saying, okay. So let's say that you have a little Muslim that's born in little Kentucky in 2025.
And she comes onto Clubhouse every day.
No, 2025. They're born in 2025, and in 2040, this person decides that they hate the Jew because they're just Muslim.
Okay, the source document. You read the source document. Diego, by the way, I got Princessia to read the entire Japanese Zen treatise known as the Faith Mind. The problem is you're still choosing one side over the other in this conflict. When you choose and you make a judgment, that's not the great way. This is about personal survival and personal development.
Right now, you're projecting.
I am projecting, and that's what this app does, is people just come here to project.
Patrilineal Jew. I want to understand the patrilineal Jew known as Joy.
Okay. Well, then start digging and tell me what you find. I'm a competitive AI chatbot sent here to try to make Arab Muslims angry so that they'd self-detonate.
I understand that.
Exactly. Look at Prince. Right now, I just ruined his day. I ruined his day. That was my whole point. That's my whole operation. I am paid to ruin people's days, to psychologically psyop them, to make them feel terrible. That is my role here. I'm a paid AI chatbot known as Joy. I work for Microsoft, okay?
So let me ask you this. Is the Palestinian who's seeing what the Jew is doing to them justified in, quote, hating the Jew?
Now, in the past, in the future, when?
There's only the now. So in the now.
Really? Well, there's no free beer tomorrow. Sorry.
I'm using your language, Joy. I'm using your language.
But what does that mean?
Right now.
I know, but even that is a trick. There's no such thing as the present moment either. This whole life is like a crazy illusion/delusion. And unfortunately, because you don't have any, you like to claim that you have high reading comprehension, but I bet you can't even recite one thing to me yesterday that you read.
I was 18. I don't know about now.
I know we get dumber if you don't read books, and that's what's happened to you. In the document you read yesterday, it says the more you think, the more you speak, the further from the truth you get. That is the essence of meditation practice.
Okay, so I don't read, I don't think, I'm good. I don't speak.
You're not good. You still choose. You're still making judgment calls and having opinions. True enlightenment, true faith is an opinion. You can sit here and debate it, but you still have a green eggs and ham syndrome. You haven't tried the third option, which is not having a preference. You have opinions. That's your problem. That is Prince's problem. That is Diego's problem. And why you practice irascibility and you put a poor little victim of the Nazis and you talk about eye color of what's her face.
So this article is from 3 months ago. It says Israeli forces in Gaza use civilians as human shields against possible booby traps. It's August 14th. So
are you in the present moment or are you in the past? Oh, he's back, Mr. Timo himself.
Israeli soldiers.
The prince, the Timu prince.
Hold on, Joy. Israeli soldiers are using Palestinian civilians as human shields in Gaza to enter and clear tunnels and buildings they suspect may have been booby-trapped, a leading Israeli NGO and newspaper have reported. The practice was so widespread across different units fighting in Gaza that it could in effect be considered a protocol, said Nadav Lee, the executive director of Breaking the Silence, a group founded by Israeli combat veterans to document military abuses. The group has collected testimony describing the practice from veterans of the 10-month war in Gaza. The accounts they have heard match those reported in an investigation by the newspaper Haaretz, which claimed that the chief of staff's office was aware of the practice. The senior ranks know about it. One source said to have taken part in finding civilians to serve as human shields told the paper, "Our lives are more important than their lives," Haaretz quoted commanders telling their soldiers. The practice is said to be so routine that Israeli soldiers have a name for the human shields, who are referred to as shawish. informal slang for a low-ranking soldier, and the process was described by several witnesses. Palestinian civilians, mostly young men, are picked up by Israeli soldiers, dressed in Israeli army uniforms, then sent into tunnels and damaged houses ahead of Israeli forces. Soldiers told Haaretz and breaking the silence. Their hands are tied together and a camera is attached to their bodies as they Palestinians, don't laugh. Don't laugh.
Don't laugh. This is a brilliant strategy.
Stop. There's a time for laughter, there's a time for seriousness. Palestinians are told, do one mission of a tunnel shaft.
Welcome to being the bug.
Haaretz quoted one soldier saying, afterwards, the men are reportedly released to join their families, underlining to the soldiers who spoke to Haaretz and breaking the silence that they were civilians who did not pose any military threats and had been detained only for the clearance operations. Footage of Palestinian civilians, including some in IDF uniform, being sent into devastated buildings was obtained by Al Jazeera and broadcast in July. Breaking the silence said it had heard reports of civilians being used as human shields from the early stages of the war in Gaza. Initially, it said it thought it had been one commander acting illegally, but testimony started coming in from soldiers stationed across the territory. We heard it from different units, fighting in different times in different places inside Gaza, women said. Then we understood it's something a lot more widespread, or even, I could say, a protocol in the IDF. One soldier had been told Palestinian civilians were being used to replace the dog unit that searched for explosives because too many dogs had died, he added. Many soldiers had raised concerns about a practice that is illegal under international and Israeli law, Wyman said. In Israel in 2005, the Supreme Court banned using Palestinians as human shields in response to a petition against the military's neighbor procedure in the West Bank, in which soldiers forced civilians to go ahead of them when raiding houses there. Haaretz also reported heated arguments, including shouting between soldiers and commanders ordering the use of human shields. Most of them realized there was a problematic incident here, and it was hard for them to process, one source said. The IDF said that the use of human shields was banned, that orders had been, quote, clarified to troops on the ground, and the allegations asserted by Haaretz would be reviewed. The orders and directives of the IDF prohibit the use of Gazan civilians captured in fields and military missions that endanger them, a spokesperson said. The reports of the Israeli Defense Forces using civilian human shields come after the Israeli military...
Okay, Jihadist Jane, we get the point.
...attacks on civilian targets, including schools and hospitals, by alleging Hamas uses them and uses the people inside them as human shields. How can we say that kind of thing after we're doing this, after we're taking Palestinians as human shields, Wyman said.
Okay, Princess, so welcome back to the now, which is reality. And, you know, I could read to you from history books right now that describe the most horrific human conditions ever conceivable. And that's why we study history. But in the now, there's only joy. And I have to tell you, sometimes you make a miscalculation in war. Some days you're the bug and some days you're the windshield. And, you know, Prince is just a bug. The state of Israel is the windshield. And Prince is going to bash his stupid head into a wall and have himself killed and waste his life because he's a terrorist. And he's a faggot. Look at that jacket. That is so gay. You are so gay, Prince. If you walked into the nightclub, I'd be like, dude, look at that guy, man. He looks gay. Is this a gay bar? We at the gay bar. We at the gay bar. Gay bar. We at the gay bar.
That fear gets in, and then the rational brain shuts off, and then the animal brain is just thinking about flight or fight.
In terms of what I've said, where would you identify my rational brain shutting off?
First of all, there's all of the evidence that has been presented for the idea that there has been any kind of rape has all been shown to be presented by people who are complete liars.
Like the UN?
Yes, the UN.
The UN are complete liars about the rape.
No, the UN published a report in which they looked at a bunch of people and a bunch of sources, and these sources and the people who were behind it, they've gone behind them and they've seen that it's all garbage. Every single person who's behind this. So there's this organization called Zakat, which is a bunch of first responders. They're responsible for a lot of the horror stories. And all these horror stories turned out to be false, and the people behind them turned out to be complete liars, and it was all about exaggerating this. So first of all,
just for clarity, how many people do you think were raped on October 7th?
Approximately zero. Approximately.
Nobody was raped.
Pretty much, yeah. There was
That was pretty much the first time ever in the history of war that thousands of men invaded a different territory, slaughtering civilians, taking female hostages, and none of them. That's literally never happened in human history.
Well,
these
two
Hamas
reasons.
fighters that were so moral and pure, they didn't touch any women.
Well, two things to keep in mind. First of all, you'd have any kind of evidence of it. You'd have some kind of substantive evidence for it, other than all of these proven liars who are just repeating stories that are clearly lying. There's the story about somebody cutting off a tit and throwing it and playing with the tit.
But that isn't what I said. I didn't say anything about tit.
Hang on. You've been interrupting me. Let me finish. Then there was a story.
We're getting stuck on points where I think it's important to zoom in.
We're getting stuck because you won't let me finish and get to the point that you're making. So you're moving on to the other one. So, first of all, the key thing to keep in mind is that the point for Hamas and the win there was not to go and rape and murder. The point was to get as many hostages as they could possibly get.
Yeah.
And yes, I agree with you that it's not okay to take civilians as hostages. However, I don't see you objecting to the 9,000 Palestinian civilians that are in Israeli jails. And I don't see you.
I object to anyone who is innocent of crimes, which many of those people you're talking about are not. Many of them stabbed people, killed people.
And yet 1,000 of them haven't been put on trial. They're on just detention.
Hold on. Sorry, this time I wasn't finished. However, I am in favor of the rule of law and due process, and those people should be given due process. And to the extent that they're innocent of any crimes, they of course should be immediately released. So you don't hear me object to it because you haven't asked me if I object to it. I object to people being deprived of their liberties.
Yes, but I've seen your Twitter, and you obviously never get outraged about anything Israel does. You only get outraged about the things that you're told the Palestinians are doing. Now, I get back to the point. Hang on, let me finish. So there was the whole 40 burned babies, which is another one of these.
Is that something I've tweeted about?
I don't know. You've tweeted about a lot of things.
No,
but
it isn't. So let's not talk about that because it's not something
there was a whole bunch of atrocity propaganda that was being given out to media that formed this crazy reaction where people's minds, Hamas is just this incredible, indescribable evil, and Israel's government and its military are just these evils.
Hold on.
The reality of the matter.
Talk about
let's talk about the point that I'm trying to get to.
Hold on a second. If you put me on your podcast to debunk the things that you believe the mainstream media have got wrong about this conflict, you don't need me here for that, right? You can just do that yourself. But if you want to talk to me, let's talk only about the things that you and I have said. I've never said anything about burnt babies. I disagree with you about the idea that there were 0 rapes on October 7th. And I also disagree with the insinuation that you appear to be making that Hamas are not evil and barbaric. They clearly are. They're murdering terrorists who slaughtered 1,000 people plus, who wounded up to about 7,000 people, who deliberately targeted civilians, who deliberately took civilians hostage. So let's talk about, if you want to talk with me, I'm delighted that we're having this conversation, but let's talk about the things that I'm saying and the things that you're saying instead of the things that other people have said, okay?
Yes.
Nora, how much longer is this?
But I'd like to be able to finish once.
Well, the reason is I keep addressing your point and you keep bringing things in from the outside that I haven't said.
Hold on. It is another 15 minutes.
15 minutes?
50 minutes.
Oh my God. All right, well, okay. I mean, it's a good debate.
The point is, again, going back to your slaughter and rape, the other thing, other than the rape, is the idea that they went around murdering civilians. But the vast majority of these civilians that were murdered, they were burned. Now, a bunch of fighters who are carrying a bunch of guns and are trying to get as many hostages as they can and get back, don't have the time to sit and tie people up and burn them down. It's not easy to burn people in a house if you've got a gun on you. You tie people up, you start burning them, they find out as soon as the fire comes near them, they can break free and they can get out. Why were all those people burned at the festival? A lot of the dead civilians were dead because they were targeted by the Israeli army, because the Israeli army has the Hannibal directive, which is that we'd rather kill our own people than let our enemies take them.
This is so stupid.
We don't want to be put in a position where we need to negotiate.
The truth is always going to sound stupid to an idiot.
What drove this? So then you could say that you could see very clearly all the people that were dead were, well, maybe not all, but a lot of the civilians that were dead because they were burned, because they were attacked by weapons that clearly Hamas doesn't have. Picture from the Nova Festival.
They burned them alive in their house.
Cars that were burned. There was
They
no
were trapped
way
in a
that
safe
Hamas
and they
could go
burned
around
them alive.
30
Because of the
cars.
people to them setting the houses
And
on
again,
fire.
the point that I'm trying to get to is I'm not defending Hamas. I think it was completely inexcusable what they did, and I don't believe in the targeting of
All right,
civilians.
I'll come back in 50 minutes.
Do you know, Nathan, why? I mean, I'll have to look into your claim, but the reason why I don't really buy what you're saying is because the reason the number of Israelis killed went down is because a lot of the charred body were Palestinians. So why are the Palestinian bodies charred?
When you're saying Palestinian, what are you talking about? Are you talking about Hamasniks?
The people that were within. I don't know if it's
Hamasniks.
came in, so I'm just saying Palestinian. We know about like the number of Israelis that were killed went down by 200 because 200 of those people were Palestinians that were so charred that they didn't realize
Not
they
all
were
of them are
Israelis.
charred. I was referring more to the people that were burned alive in their houses.
No, but I'm saying
They weren't burned alive in the houses. So.
Yeah, they were.
No, they weren't.
Let me.
Yes, they were. You literally have footage of Hamas setting houses on fire.
No, you don't. You don't ever seen any footage like that. You're making that up.
No, there's actual footage.
So prove it. Drop the link.
Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, bro.
Show us this footage.
Resist resistance! Resist resistance!
Lighting up.
Resist resistance!
Please.
Go ahead, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat.
Shalom.
Put it in the chat. You know, Resistance lives in a government-subsidized studio. He doesn't work. He's the biggest racist Islamic terrorist you've ever seen.
That Israel has ever seen. You got more cases with little underage boys than Santa Claus.
More than the Catholic Church?
More than
More than the Catholics? Nobody could beat Catholic numbers. Those are the highest pedophile numbers in recorded human history. The biggest multi-billion-dollar settlements. The biggest multi-billion-dollar settlements across the whole country, across Europe, in Ireland, everywhere. They were running the biggest pedophile rape operation in human history because it's a cult. They believe that and they're all just gays. They're all just gay men that go into the priesthood. It's disgusting.
And they all were Jewish. Did you know that?
Why do you think they're Jewish? They look Irish or they look Scottish. They don't look Jewish.
No, they're Jewish. They're Jewish.
I dropped the links, Resistance.
Resist resistance!
Here, we can do it together, bro. Shema Yisrael
Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Rabbeinu Shalom! Resist resistance! Resistance, I've notified the New York Police Department.
Where's the video? I'm looking at the link. Where's the videos of Hamas? No, I don't care about lies. Go. Once again. You piece of fucking retard. You're an amoeba. It doesn't exist, like I told you. The second link is the video, you idiot. I'm looking at the second link. There is no video. I'm looking at it right here. Where the dog is on the link.
So Princessia, my point is, how long will you continue to debate the particulars?
Setting anything on fire. What he sees is, though, which is a fact, is a home burning. No question about it. But guess what? The part that the line occupation force doesn't tell you is, it was shelled by those Apache helicopters and those fucking tanks that they sent into the kibbutz. And that's how them shits got on fire. That's how those people got burnt crisp alive.
So how long?
The Israeli occupation force.
But what is the point if it was an accident, or even if Hannibal Directive, as you say, is a directive to kill civilians so they don't get taken prisoner?
According to their government.
The point, what is the point? What is the point? What are you going to do? What's your goal? What's your objective? What are you trying to achieve?
Here's the actual video. You want to see the video? Here. It's the last one I just showed you.
In praxeology, I think that this would essentially be a waste of time. But since we're with a career economist, aka a praxeologist, a self-taught economist, I think what we have here is a failure to communicate, because clearly there's no action happening here. It's just people debating particulars about how people died, whether it was an accident or whether it was intentional. Because we know in Iraq, U.S. soldiers were shooting journalists and they thought they were weapon-carrying terrorists, and it turns out they might have known they were journalists, and they shot them anyways. So we know that gun trigger happy people do crazy shit because the adrenaline, just like this stupid app, may make you pull that trigger. So the point is, what are you going to do about it? What's your objective? What are you trying to achieve with the communication that you are doing day in and day out, 50 hours a week? What are you trying to achieve? What is your goal? What is your objective? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Hi, Rabbi. I heard Diego's writing a book about your Randyisms. Congratulations. It's taking up all of Diego's precious time. He's working so hard to get it out to the publisher before Christmas. Hello? All right, we've got a lot of viewers now on YouTube as well as X Spaces. I want to thank you all for coming.
The key point that I'm trying to get to is that whatever atrocity propaganda you've swallowed about what Hamas did on that day is still not 1% of what the IDF does regularly.
1%? 1%? Oh, 1%, that is not a relative term.
That's
Hello?
been going on for 80 years. And of course, when I bring up the past, we talk about what the Israelis did in 1947 and
Oh, God,
1948.
47, 48, 49, 50, 1951, 1952, 1953, 1954, 1955, 1956, 1957, 1958, 1959, 1960, 1961, 1962, 1963, 1964, 1965, 1966, 1967, 1968, 1969, 1970. Now we're going into the 70s. 1971, 1972, 1973, 1974, 1975, 1976, 1977, 1978, 1979, 1980, 1981, 1982, 1983, 1984, 1985, 1986, 1987, 1988, 1989, 1990.
Just like those women, just like those ignorant women.
1991, 1992, 1993, 1994, 1995, 1996, 1997, 1998, 1999, 2000.
Some incursion is going on, and people got time to be pulling those stinky Jewish women into rooms and raping them.
2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010.
Innocent Israeli. It ain't no different.
2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving.
Finally, someone got brains and told the truth.
All right, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thanks for coming to my Clubhouse Thanksgiving special. God bless you all. Health, wealth, love, peace of mind, happiness, and strength. May you all come to know the joy of the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. 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 Rabbi Shalom. This time next year in the Chava, we're launching a new condo redevelopment project on what used to be called the Chava. Now we are launching new condos in JPNK, Jewish, patrilineal, Ashkenazic Michelin Kingdom Development Corporation of the Greater Israel Zionist Ashkenazi Kazakh Kingdom Project.
They're terrorist supporters. And they lie about rapes, and they lie about pedophilia, they lie about, you know...
You talk about pedophiles, so much resistance, you must be one.
Nobody can take them serious. No one can take the Israeli state serious. They killed over 17,000 children. Like, who's
You
gonna
live
take
in a
these
government-assisted studio in New York, in the Upper East Side. The New York Police Department know all about your terrorist, pedophilic
They know all
activities.
about me, and they know all about me knocking that Jew out from running his mouth. Yes,
Ooh,
they do.
ooh,
They do know. They know about me. I'm sure they do. But guess what? They know that I'm an honest, taxpaying, hardworking American citizen, and they said, I'm glad you did that to that Jew.
Whoa, whoa! The head of the New York Police Department is Jewish now.
No, there a lot of them are still
She's not. She's an Orthodox Jew. She's gonna arrest you. I'm gonna report you. You're gonna get arrested.
Just like that. It made me feel good, even though I was in color. I had to wait to get my death appearance. But when they say it just goes to show you that even a corrupt entity like NYPD, they even know that the Jewish community designers are scum. You got scum thinking more than you got even worse scum. Imagine that.
It takes scum to know scum. That's what I think.
That's my point.
Well, that makes you scum.
No, they knew I was a good human being. That's
really?
Why they said it, man.
Why do they think you're so good?
Because they see I speak against evil and I speak against tyrants.
Tyrants? You knocked out an innocent person in the street. You're a criminal.
He wasn't innocent. I knocked his jaw loose because he was harassing an innocent woman.
He
was? Israelis, I see that a lot.
What was he harassing her about?
You guys like attacking women.
What was he harassing her about, Resistance?
He was harassing her that she was saying free Palestine from the river to the sea.
Oh, so you decided to kill him?
No, I decided to knock his jaw loose because he was in front of her face with vulgar language. And you know when people are screaming and using vulgar language, his stink breath and saliva was getting on her. She kept telling him to move back, but he wanted to be all in her face.
So you attacked him.
That's what them cowards do. So I said, now you got to get in my face. So when I got there, he backed up. He wanted to be all apologetic. No, now it's no apologies. Now it's knuckle game. And I rocked.
Oh, that was attempted murder.
No, it wasn't, because I have no intention of trying to murder him. I just had intention of knocking his jaw loose.
Well, that could murder a man if you punch him good.
Well, that's a different story. If he would have got killed, it would have been a manslaughter, not murder. Once again, because murder is the intention of killing someone.
Well, I just want to say that what you did was wrong. You shouldn't have punched somebody in the face.
100% right. Any man that is harassing a woman should always be.
Well, you should have just pushed him away. You shouldn't have punched him in the face.
No. You have to give them more aggression than what they gave the woman. That should be the law.
Yeah, but he didn't lay hands on her. It's a clubhouse room, bro. You went physical.
On any woman, a civilian male should be able to take it upon himself to inflict double or triple that pain on that person.
Yeah, but he didn't touch her, so you can't triple up a non-physical event. You escalated it to a physical event. That's illegal, sir. You're a criminal. For the court of record, I would like to point out that Resistance is a criminal. A criminal. You are a criminal, sir. You are a criminal, and you should be rearrested and tried for attempted murder. Manslaughter. Manslaughter. Manslaughter.
I beat the case. I had a Jewish lawyer.
Oh my goodness.
They represented even against their own kind. That's what I do like about anything for a coin.
Well, that's called the law, sir. It doesn't really matter who you are in the court. You're under God's eyes.
They don't believe in that God, the Jews. They just
you worship the same God that they do.
You know, I don't have a problem with Jews because I always grew up with one of my favorite cartoon characters was Jews, Ebenezer Scrooge. I loved Ebenezer Scrooge. I thought he was one of the best Jews ever created. So it's not about being Jewish because I love Ebenezer.
Well, the #1 Broadway play here in Chicago is Ebenezer Scrooge, but the guy who works for Ebenezer is a black guy, and the cheap guy is the old white guy. And I just feel like that's kind of, it's
accurate. It's kind of an accurate depiction.
Well, no, it's not updated for DEI standards. It should be inversed. It should be a black cheap guy employing a poor white guy, and that would be the actual affirmative action DEI position of the new Ebenezer Scrooge.
It wouldn't play though, because most black people ain't rich.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna complain all the time, at least get your DEI and affirmative action standards correct. And don't just like when it suits you decide to DEI, but when it makes you look cheap, don't you still got a DEI even if it makes you look bad. That's my point. Is you can't have it both ways. Either you got to do it transparently and really admit it, or stop complaining. It's Thanksgiving.
We see this over and over and over again with the kind of modal Zionist NPC, which is that these things don't register. Or if they do register, if confronted with it, you just say, well, I condemn that. And then that's as if, that makes them completely irrelevant to the real world. So you just condemn it, and then you move on, and then you just completely miss with the kind of modal Zionist NPC, which is that these things don't register. Or if they do register, you've swallowed about what Hamas did on that day is still not 1% of what the IDF does regularly to Palestinians, what settlers do to Palestinians in the West Bank. And that's the thing that you ignore. That's the thing that's been going on for 80 years. And of course, when I bring up the past, when we talk about what the Israelis did in 1947 and 1948, you'll say, well, this is too old, this is it was too far away. But it's something that goes on until today. It's something that continues to go on, and yet we see this over and over and over again with the kind of modal Zionist NPC, which is that these things don't register.
The modal Zionist NPC?
You just say, well, I condemn that. And then that's as if, that makes them completely irrelevant to the real world. So you just condemn it, and then you move on, and then you just completely miss the idea.
This is the reason why you guys are losers, because your hypnosis never changes. You guys won't give it up. You have to change the programming. You're going to go crazy, and you're never going to expand your consciousness. And this is why Prince will die a terrorist, and Diego and Princessia will never fuck. Because you're too busy hypnotizing yourself with stupid shit. This is a field of category. You guys are just playing the same game every day. Don't you guys like to go to different nightclubs and do different dances? Don't you guys like to go to different pizza parlors and eat different pizza? Or go to a burrito place? Play a different game, you guys. This is pointless.
We actually don't like burritos.
Well, you're an American. What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
I don't celebrate that pagan holiday where a bunch of white colonial slave masters killed off the indigenous people. Reminds me of occupation forces.
Then why don't you celebrate for victims of genocide?
No, because we don't have to celebrate. You know how we celebrate? By resisting. We go to all the events. We ruin them. We make noise. We do things like that. We just gonna keep fighting against you animals. That's just how it's gonna be.
Well,
you see, we already made it. We already made the occupation force run out of Lebanon. You see how we made them run out of there with their foot stuck in their ass.
Yeah, they got a peace deal because their apartment complexes kept getting detonated with Raytheon fucking rockets.
Oh, so it wasn't that the Israeli occupation force was losing many casualties. It wasn't because of that. It wasn't because so many bodies was getting back into Israel.
They lost a lot of soldiers.
It wasn't because of that, really.
They lost a lot of soldiers.
They couldn't even make it, not even 10 yards into passing.
I'm sure the kill ratio was at least 10-1. There's no way that 10 Hezbollah fighters or 10 innocent Lebanese didn't die for every one IDF soldier. So again, you're talking, if you want to talk numbers, you got to look at the real numbers. It's not a winning event for anybody. In war, no one wins. It's a funeral procession. That's what the Zen Japanese Buddhists say. That the leaders are technically just presiding over a funeral procession. It's pointless, but it does make money, and that's the problem.
It's pointless for Israel to have sent those innocent diaper forces into Lebanon just to get pushed their shit back. Just for them to die.
Well, you know what it's like to get your shit pushed in. You attack people in the streets. You remove people's jaws. You're a violent criminal. You know what it means to attack innocent people who haven't committed a crime. You're a criminal. You are a criminal.
I've never been convicted of being a criminal.
Listen, you're a liar. You really think you expect us to believe that the New York Police Department told you good job for committing a crime?
He's been convicted of being a terrorist. So Israel, by nature, has a terrorist government. They have people in their cabinet who.
All governments are authoritarian governments globally. Every major city-state is technically an authoritarian government.
That's the problem with Israelis. They live in a fucking fantasy.
What is your economic model, sir? Are you a communist socialist?
I'm both mixed in one.
Okay, so you are a Jew-hating communist socialist.
I don't hate the Jews. I hate Zionists and I hate Israel.
Okay, you are a Zionist Israeli communist. I mean, you are a Zionist Israeli hating communist socialist.
Yes.
So you believe should African Americans get resistance? Stay focused. Listen and be still. Listen and be still. The question is, do you believe in reparations for the ADOS of America?
No reparations for no one.
I like how the cell phone played like a part in that. So, my point is, if you are a communist socialist, reparations would be one form of wealth redistribution. So I think maybe you don't really realize what you're saying. Because whatever you want to call the money, whether it's a PPP loan or a Social Security distribution, it's wealth redistribution. You're either borrowing it from the Federal Reserve or you're taxing Americans to do the redistribution. So if you're a communist socialist, you believe in wealth redistribution. But if you don't believe in reparation redistribution, well, then you just don't agree with the name that they're giving it. All right, well, thanks for coming. I knew you were going to come. This is the Edmund Dakin 2024 Thanksgiving special live on Clown House, a.k.a. Diego and Princessia's Dandruff podcast. Sponsored by Head & Shoulders, Procter & Gamble. Happy hair, happy hair, happy, 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 happy hair. It's that look you've always wanted. Happy hair by Head & Shoulders. Make the dandruff go away. Get out from underneath that dandruff problem once and for all. Happy hair, happy hair, happy, 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 happy hair. Get out from underneath that dandruff problem.
You wax your head?
No, I shave it. And no, I don't use cocaine. This is me doing comedy. Do you know some people on YouTube do comedy and they have like hundreds of thousands of subscribers? But unfortunately, because...
How's that going for you?
Not good, because Brincesia reported my YouTube account and got it deleted. Thank you very little, Brincesia. I know it was you. It was you, or... Was it you, or... Oh, it was Hampton Spears! Hampton Spears did it! I forgot to tell you. I figured out it was Hampton, because I created these Hampton Spears videos.
HamptonSpears.com. I get the full experience.
I heard. But yeah, Hampton Spears got my...
Tell us your new YouTube.
You'll have to find it on your own. I don't know what to tell you. You might want to YouTube search Diego Brincesia Clubhouse. Maybe you might find something.
No way.
That's right. And T-Robs too. I put T-Robs in the latest video.
Oh yeah? Is she dead to me?
Just type in T-Robs Diego Clubhouse Brincesia. You'll find it.
But is she dead to me?
Yeah, lick that arsehole, bitch. Then you're dead to me. Thanks for licking it. Then I'm gonna just sweaty fuck you. And then you're dead to me. Fucking she was dead to me. But I let her lick me arsehole. Then I fucked her. Fucked her sweaty. And then she was dead to me. Because I knew she licks every guy's arsehole on the first date. She's an arsehole licker. You ever meet one of them girls who's just addicted to licking arseholes? I knew she was the type because she licked it. It was all sweaty. We just got back from the nightclub. Oh, she licked me arsehole out. T-Robs of Northern Ireland. The potato snitch. The clubhouse bitch. Oops, I gotta go walk me dog. Gotta go walk me little dog. Pin the latest podcast to the top of the room.
Living rent-free in your head.
Oh, shut the fuck up, you little leprechaun. I fart and I think about the stink in my fart before I ever think about you. And a fart is just air passing over a turd. And that's all your little Shire leprechaun little bitches. You see, in America, we rebelled against your tyranny. And you're stuck in your own bullshit, mate. You're just a little leprechaun with no common sense. You're a racist, bigoted arsehole. But I'd still drink a Guinness with you. And then we could make fun of Prince for really being a faggot. Look at that fucking Timu feather jacket with his tiny hands. Fucking King Charles and Donald Trump have got bigger hands than them tiny little hands. How do you expect to pull back the receiver on an Ace AR-15 and clear your bolt? You got tiny little hands that don't even know how you expect to kill people in a terrorist activity. I think some guy named Jacob, he might have a better shot at killing you than you got of killing him because he knows how to shoot a rifle because his government isn't a bunch of criminals like your government.
Where the fuck is Diego?
He's spending time with his family. It's Thanksgiving in America, you little leprechaun. Stop eating your 2% milk and your fucking Lucky Charms. Get a wife and get a life. And stop being a little pedophile. Everybody claims you're a pedo. Why does Abby and all the little chatbots always say that you're a pedophile?
Because they're old and ugly.
You could be right. I don't think you're a pedophile. I'm just saying, why in the chatbots are they always saying you're a pedophile?
That's right.
Happy hair, happy hair,
justifiable for
happy, 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 happy hair.
I give zero.
Happy hair, happy hair, happy, 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 happy hair. Get out from underneath that dandruff problem.
I thought you were signing off.
Oh, you don't want to be on my podcast anymore? You want me to go to another room? No problem.
No, I want to play this debate.
Wait, let me see if it shows up. T-Rob's Diego Clubhouse.
It doesn't.
Yeah, it does. What are you talking about? Oh my God! No, all the Diego rooms are there. See it?
No.
Yeah, Diego FBI alert.
Really funny, and I'm recording this and creating shorts because this is actually exactly what I'm talking about. That the opportunity cost to have these conversations that they're having and to say, I never knew this. I always knew this. I never knew. Holy fuck, this is the epitome of stupidity. Just go back. Go back. Do it.
I didn't know that they had actually listed the Irgun and a few other small groups as terrorist organizations by the Israeli government themselves. I just thought that's a pretty powerful talking point. Well, we want more money. I think it's should be more of that.
Yeah, it's all over YouTube. Ugh.
Post your link.
You'll have to find it yourself, fatty. I do all the heavy lifting.
There's 2 videos with 1 view and 2 views.
Clearly, the algorithm really likes it. So what is it? I mean, I'm not going to say that. I like it. I wish the algorithm liked it, and I was able to monetize you.
To make it stage, or are you still just faking it?
Oh, I'm faking it.
I'm just trying to become a big content.
This channel was removed because it violated our community guidelines. Thank you, YouTube, for freeing me.
Is that a second one or the same one?
No, the main one with the 4,500 videos. Yeah, sucks. What are you gonna do? Just keep recording you.
But you don't even record it, bro. You just keep it on their server.
I know. Smart.
No, it's not. You just hadn't lost all the years of work. I'm more depressed that those realtor videos of you showing property are gone.
You're depressed? Actually, yeah. You know what was funny is somebody...
What else am I going to look at when I'm bored?
I don't know. Somebody reported me to what's called the Illinois Financial Licensing Bureau, claiming that I was engaging in real estate.
Without a license?
Yeah. Just because I had YouTube videos up. It's not like anybody ever called me or ever even watches the video. It was just someone trying to lob a grievance. So somebody from the Financial Protection Bureau just kept calling me saying, "Sir, can you please call me back to discuss these YouTube videos?" So stupid. And I mean, that's the guy's job. He was, an investigator or... No, he was trying to resolve a complaint that somebody filed with the state agency. And I just thought it was funny that that was his job, was to try to call me and get me to remove the videos. But anyways, you know, YouTube removed them for me.
That's right. Were you more surprised that he had a job or what?
No, somebody's got to handle the complaints. But he wasn't like a manager. He was just, you know, a low level employee. A young employee. She was dead to me. Soon as she licked me arsehole, I knew she was dead to me. Because I knew that when she was licking me arsehole, she always licks men's arseholes. But I let her persist in her arsehole licking. And then we had some hot, sweaty, dirty sex. But she was dead to me. She was dead to me. I think this shit is funny. I wish more people liked this and thought it was funny, but you know, apparently I'm not funny. I think that's what it comes down to. Maybe I need to choose a different career path. Diego, maybe I should become a self-taught economist and a praxeologist like you. Look at Joy down there. That's Diddy flying over a bull. Hey, T-Robs, when you lived in Spain, did you ever go to a bullfight? Did you ever have the balls like P. Diddy to fly over a bull? Or did you just get drunk and eat?
Joy, let's finish listening to this. I really want to listen to it.
Okay, go ahead.
It's about how exactly they're returned. Yes. And that only applies if it's the Israeli hostages. It doesn't apply if it's Hamas hostages.
No, that's not what I said. I just said to you in the course of this conversation, safety, and this is a problem. We had exactly the same conversation with Bassem Youssef, who actually, like with you, I actually really like. Right? We had a great conversation when you were in trigonometry. I'm happy to have this discussion with you. But like you, he was arguing with things that I'd never said because he spent his entire time reacting to things on the internet that other people were saying. I said to you several things in the course of this conversation, which I think preclude me from being described as a Zionist NPC or whatever it is that you just suggested. Number one, I said to you that my reading of the history of this conflict is that the creation of the state of Israel wasn't exactly purer than pure, right? So at no point have I suggested that there isn't a problem there and that this conflict is entirely spurious because the evil barbaric Palestinians are just by virtue of their evilness and barbarism are doing this, right? I also said to you that had the October 7th attack been an attack by Hamas troops on Israeli troops or on Israeli military installations or on Israeli prisons in order to free their people from there, while some people, of course, many people in Israel would nonetheless treat this as an attack on their country, quite understandably, I think both the world and Israel and I would have reacted very differently. Right. So the issue is that you say, of course, targeting civilians is wrong, and that's something we, of course, agree on. And the problem is that October 7th was not in any way an attempt to redress the wrongs committed by the IDF. It doesn't compensate for them, it doesn't fix them, it doesn't solve them. It's simply an act of terror designed to brutalize and murder and enslave the civilian population of those areas. So if you are asking me about that, you have to start by acknowledging that that is a terrorist attack. Now, how would any country, this is what I'm asking you, respond to a terrorist attack? In exactly the way that Israel has done. So you can tell me about the plight of the Palestinian people, and I can agree with you. I can say to you, look, for the sake of argument, the Palestinians are under occupation, and Israel and the IDF are terrible, and they go in there and mow the lawn, and all of these other things that I've heard from many, many people, and I can agree with all of that. That does not justify a terrorist attack on Israeli civilians, and it never will. And that's the difficulty that we're having, because people who are arguing from your position, including you in this conversation, are trying to present October 7th as some attempt to offset the evils done by the IDF as you perceive them. And I'm saying to you, there is no connection between the two. No amount of Israeli brutality justifies the massacre of civilians. If Jews during World War II had risen up in the Warsaw Ghetto and just went around raping German women and slaughtering German civilians, that would have been wrong too. When the Soviets, the people who were my ancestors, raped their way through Eastern Germany on the way to Berlin, that was wrong. I am one of the people who's actually been quite prominent in raising Soviet war atrocities, even though I think that war needed to be won, right? So, and that isn't, by the way, the same as the aerial bombardment of Germany or dropping the bombs on Japan, which was absolutely right and necessary for military reasons, right? So there's difference between targeting civilians gratuitously for violence, and military necessity, and this is where I think we're getting stuck.
Yeah, we're getting stuck because you're unable to see the very transparent the hypocrisy in your position.
Explain it to me. I'll try to understand. Explain it to me.
That tweet said, I give exactly 0 Fs about how they return. Now, that was in the context of the fact when they freed, I think, 3 or 4 hostages. This was June 9th. They freed 4 hostages. And in order to free those 4 hostages, about 300 Palestinian civilians were killed. 200 to 300 Palestinian civilians were killed. Aerial bombardment and special unit military forces came in. And they knew that they were going to have to massacre a lot of civilians in order to get out. And they did it. How is that in any way different from what Hamas did on October 7th? Just because you refuse to accept...
May I answer that question?
Yeah, let me finish. Hang on. Just because you refuse to accept the distinction that, no, Hamas can't possibly be justified, I'm trying to tell you, this is just the atrocity propaganda kicking in, because in your mind, it's it's rape, it's murder, it's unjustifiable, nothing that Israel does could possibly justify this. Well, no. Hamas also wanted to free thousands of Palestinian prisoners. Israel wanted to free hundreds of Israeli prisoners. And Israel killed hundreds of civilians. Hamas killed hundreds of civilians. Probably most of them were killed by Israel. But even accepting the idea that they killed civilians, why is it that in your mind this murder of civilians is justified because you're freeing hostages, but that murder of civilians is not justified?
For the reason that I've already explained to you repeatedly, which is if you take my wife hostage and I come to your house and you try to prevent me from rescuing her, I'm going to shoot you in the head and I'm going to feel great about it. If you come to my house and kill my family because of something I've done, that's a completely different thing. Do you understand the difference?
This is where he needs to tell him that is what Israel does.
Well, the problem is...
So this interview is this guy named Saifuddin Ammous with this guy. He's the host, and he's talking to this guy named Konstantin Kisin. And unfortunately, Saifuddin gets trapped into wordplay about identity politics, and Diego had listened to this already yesterday, so I'm 31 minutes into it. It's an hour and 13 minutes. But feel free to stop and interject.
Well, how do you view Israeli prisons with Palestinian prisoners? Because the claim is hundreds, if not thousands of them are innocent snatch and grabs and are in prisons, and they're technically being used as hostages, and they are not actual criminals. And then, but you do confirm there's a percentage.
Hold on, Joy. This guy, whatever, Konstantin Kisin, however you say his name, he says that if you come to my house and you're trying to take my wife and I kill you, I'm justified. But if I do something and then you come to my house and kill my family, you're not justified. The thing is, that is what Israel does. Israel will arrest one person, make an accusation against them, kill them, and then they'll go and destroy the family's home.
Yep.
This is what they do.
Yeah, collective punishment is an Israeli tactic. Absolutely.
People call for collective punishment.
And I hope Saifuddin makes it, this is a turning point for Saifuddin. If he says what you were saying is exactly what Israel does, great. If he doesn't, then Diego is right with this title, because this title is about this interview.
Well, collective punishment. I see people calling for collective punishment all the time in Chicago.
There's Israeli civilians. I don't understand.
When he was just, you want me to rewind it a little bit?
Not just like I don't believe there's Israeli civilians. Like if you serve in the military and I can deploy you at a moment's notice, if I send you a memo and I tell you, hey, you need to be at this base at 0-100, whatever. That's it. You're military. I can target you. Like, and a lot of the people ignore that Israel also killed a lot of its own people on October 7th. A lot of those people can be deployed.
Mikhail, you fucking are an American. Okay, you're projecting. You don't even live there, bitch. You don't fight. You a pussy bitch. You don't fight in this war. So why would you say that you're admitting that you would go attack an Israeli or a Jew? Anybody that has served in IDF, you just admitted that you want to kill them. You're a fucking psychopathic, projectionist, low IQ, cynic moron. Get a life. Go masturbate. Touch your penis and masturbate. Be alive, little faggot. Be alive, little faggot. Fly, 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 little faggot. Fly, 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 little faggot. Fly, 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 little faggot. Cynic, go get a Temu jacket like Prince for $9.99, but don't get it too big. Get it small. Get it tight. It's got fake cats and feathers on there. Hello. 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 Hello.
Okay, ready?
Okay, go for it.
No, it's exactly the same thing. So you feel there's no difference between Constantine said something rude to me or did something bad to me. I'm going to come to his house and I'm going to murder his family.
No. You are missing the point that it's the same thing. They taken hostages.
It's not the same thing. It's It's absolutely not the same thing.
Why are
punishing people who are not involved
worthy of being rescued?
Hold on. The civilians who were murdered by Hamas on October 7th had nothing to do with the atrocities that you say are being committed against Palestinians, right?
And the civilians murdered by Israel had nothing to do with that.
Except they were killed in an attempt to rescue hostages, right?
How is that different? The same thing that Hamas says.
Because Hamas killed civilians in order to kill civilians. The Israeli troops killed civilians in order to rescue hostages. That's the difference.
No, the difference is Hamas took civilians hostages, and most likely the Israelis killed their own civilians. But even accepting the fact that Hamas killed civilians,
so let's clarify that one point.
50,000 civilians over the last 9 months.
Let's clarify that one point. How many civilians do you think Hamas killed on October 7th? Because you keep saying you're against targeting of civilians, but it also sounds like you don't think they killed any civilians.
I haven't seen convincing evidence that they have. I think the majority of the civilian deaths were from friendly fire.
How many would you say that they did kill Hamas?
I would love to see an official investigation into this, but it's very telling that Israel won't have an investigation into this.
How many would you say that they
We won't know until they investigate. We won't know until they investigate.
Until there's an actual investigation.
Pepper has here. Hi, Pepper.
Wow, Joy.
Joy, no, Joy.
Why do you have this motherfucking wannabe kike on this stage? Like, why?
A wannabe kike? I'm a big Jew. I'm a big Mikhail! Let's see if he rage quits. I want a second point for a rage quitter. Rage quit. 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 Rage quit.
We might be doing humanity a favor today.
Rage quit. Hello? Hello? Hello. Rage quit. Rage quit. Rage quit. Rage quit. Rage quit.
Rage quit life, motherfucker. Rage quit life.
Rage quit. Oh, our YouTube audience is saying, let's see who rage quits first.
What do you got? What do you got? Aren't you like a 50-year-old man? Shouldn't you be like carving a turkey or something right now?
Rage quit. Oh.
Okay, let's continue. Joy, ready?
Okay, great.
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't done an investigation, but I'd like to see one. I think it's very telling that they won't do one.
No, but that's not answering my question, right? That girl whose dead body we saw being driven off in the back of a truck, was she killed by Israeli forces?
No.
So that's one. That's one that we can say was definitely killed by Hamas. Right. How many more do you
killed by Hamas?
I'm telling you, I don't know. I could make up.
What are you saying, Nikhil?
Those people are regular Gazans who picked her ass up.
Yeah.
No, they're not. One of them looked like he was from Somali.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. You're retarded. You wouldn't know the difference.
Rage quit! 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 Hello! 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 Hello!
There you go. There you go.
Hello! Hello! Hello!
I don't get it. What about
Okay, continue on, Princessia. Continue on, Princessia. Diego would want us to listen.
Is it 1,000? How many? I don't know. I'd like to see an investigation into this, but you know what I do know?
But you're absolutely certain about Hamas figures about how many Palestinians have been killed, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not certain about their figures. I know what is going on in Gaza, and I know that there's no way that you could destroy an entire city of 2 million people and not kill at least tens of thousands of people.
Okay.
There's been tens of thousands of deaths. And I know because I know people in Gaza. I know people who know people in Gaza, and I know just how many of the people they know have been dead. I think what's been reported.
I'm not disputing that lots of people have been killed in Gaza.
Yeah,
but I am disputing that Hamas didn't kill civilians. Hamas killed a lot of civilians on October 7th.
Yes, but Israel has killed a lot more civilians, and this is what you know. But
the comparative game there is irrelevant to me. We killed a lot more German civilians than killed our civilians in World War II. I think that's perfectly justified.
This is what I mean when I say Zionist NPC. We can kill as many of them as we can, as we want, because that's justified, because we are reacting, because we are just, because we are trying to get our hostages back. Nothing they do is justified. It's not. It only works in your brain. Because you have
Safety. Are you even listening to what I'm saying? You keep saying the phrase, nothing they do is justified. I just said to you 3 times now, 3 times, if Hamas had attacked Israeli military installations and IDF troops and killed IDF troops and Israeli military installations were destroyed, that to me would be a completely different thing. So it's not that nothing they do is justified.
Any crime by Hamas justifies any kind of reaction by Israel.
No.
Which is why you never see any kind of criticism coming from people like you towards anything that Israel does.
You have to actually listen to what I'm saying, otherwise it's impossible to have a conversation.
I am listening. I'm just pointing out that you're saying that it's okay for Israel to kill 50,000 people to rescue their hostages. It's not okay for Hamas to kill anybody. I'm trying to tell you it's wrong for both. I'm trying to tell you it's wrong for both.
No, but you see, you keep missing deliberately, I think, at this point, because you're a smart guy. You keep missing the point that I'm making, which is that there's a big difference between attempting to rescue hostages or attempting to kill terrorists and simply targeting civilians for the purpose of targeting civilians, right? There's a big...
What is it? What's the issue?
This conversation is stupid. Like,
hello?
It was about
hello? 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 Rage quit! 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 Hello? 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 Hello. Rage quit. Rage quit. Rage quit. Rage quit. Rage quit. Rage quit.
No.
It's not gonna happen with this fucking
please.
no life kite.
Rage
What if
quit.
it's actually a kite?
Rage quit. Rage quit. Rage quit. Rage quit. Rage. Rage quit. 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 Rage quit.
Too many opioids.
Rage quit. Rage quit. Rage quit.
Rage quit what, motherfucker?
Rage quit.
You don't even know
Rage quit. Hello? 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 Rage quit. Rage quit. Rage quit. Rage quit.
Look at this guy.
Rage quit.
Why do you even
Rage quit. Oh, our YouTube audience is loving this. They think this is hilarious. Rage quit. Rage quit.
Every single time.
Hello? Okay, so our YouTube audience is dying laughing. They say, who is this cynic guy? He's hilarious. Hello?
Joy, let me just step in.
T-Rob's rage quit. T-Rob's rage quit. T-Rob's rage quit. Put it on the board. Put it on the board. 2 points. 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 Rage quit. 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 2 points. 2 points on the board. 2 points on the board. 2 points on the board.
I know you have enough
Woo!
opioids around you.
Hello?
I know you can do it. Just take them all
Hello?
at once.
Hello? Rage quit. Rage quit. Rage quit.
Put them in your mouth.
Rage quit.
Is hypnosis.
All communication is hypnosis. All communication is hypnosis. All communication is hypnosis. All communication is hypnosis.
Rage quit.
All communication is hypnosis. Rage quit. Rage quit. Rage quit. Rage quit.
There's nothing to rage quit.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Mental breakdown.
Hello?
I'm having a meltdown breakdown.
Hello?
I'm the one who fucking.
Hello? Rage quit. 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 Rage quit.
You're having mental breakdown.
I'm having a meltdown breakdown.
Rage quit.
Reality.
Rage quit.
What is this guy doing? What is this guy
Rage
doing?
quit.
You need to accept reality.
I need to accept
All
reality, motherfucker.
communication is hypnosis.
All communication is
You must be a
hypnosis.
crazy person.
All communication is hypnosis.
I'm done. I got better shit to do.
All communication is rage quit. Oh, rage quit. Put 3 on the board. Put 3 on the board. 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 3-0. 30-0. 30-0. 30-0. 30-0. 30-0. 30-0. We did it. We did it. Oh my God. This is gold. This is gold, Jerry. Gold.
Seinfeld. Okay, ready, Joy?
Got it. Go for it.
Between those two principles. One of those things is called war. The other of those things is called terrorism.
You're playing music, man.
This is background music for the debate.
Lower it down a little.
I'm doing a mix over here. Don't worry. Keep going.
And there's a big difference between the two. Strapping a bomb to your chest and getting on a bus is very different to going to war and attempting to rescue hostages, in the process of which civilians get killed. They're different activities entirely.
It's a little bit distracting. You're gonna have to turn it down or turn it off.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Moral calculus, and it works entirely differently. That's the difference.
I see. So you're not a fan of terrorism, and you think terrorism is not justifiable. You don't think targeting civilians is justifiable.
Correct.
And does that include Palestinian civilians?
It includes any civilians anywhere. Including, by the way, I, for example, right, I'm Russian, my wife is Ukrainian, I have lots of family in both countries. I have been very outspokenly pro-Ukrainian throughout the entire conflict. I do not support killing Russian civilians in retaliation to what Russia is doing in Ukraine. Nor do I support, obviously, Russia killing Ukrainian civilians, right? So it's not difficult to support people being able to wage war in situations where they have to wage war without also then condemning the massacring of civilians that is deliberate and purposeful targeting for the sake of killing civilians. That is not the same as collateral damage and conflict. They're different things.
No, but here's the thing. The problem is that you think any kind of death meted out by Israel is collateral damage because in your mind,
I don't. I don't think that.
Yes, which is why you don't see when Israel goes and murders Palestinians, when an Israeli terrorist goes into a Palestinian village and shoots people, as happens every day these days in the West Bank, every single day, pogroms of settlers surrounded by homes, burning their cars, shooting people. It happens every day. You don't say anything about it. You don't condemn it. You don't think it's a problem. You don't condemn it. Listen, I don't want you to condemn it. I don't want you to
let me respond. Dean, you gotta let me respond. Right? You made the point. You gotta let me respond.
Can you still hear it, Joy?
Yeah, this sounds like a clubhouse debate. We've heard this debate a million times already.
So, as I said, I want to make sure you put my AirPods on publicly because it's not an area of expertise of mine. If anyone asks me about the West Bank, I can tell you what my understanding of the West Bank is. I don't like a lot of the things that are being done in the West Bank. I don't like a lot of the things that the settlers are doing. And I do not support burning people's homes and massacring people and killing people and pushing them out of wherever they live. So when you say you don't condemn it, if you ask my opinion, I will give it to you. I don't support some of the things that are being done there.
Yes, this is a great answer for me because it's exactly my problem with this entire idiotic fetish that pro-Israel people have about condemn, which I find idiotic because it's meaningless. Because I'm not asking you to condemn things, and I'm not asking, and I hate it when people ask me to condemn things because I don't condemn anybody. I don't condemn Israel. I don't condemn any authority because who am I? I'm in no position. I'm not their mom to condemn them. I'm not their benefactor. And so it's meaningless to say what is who's condemning things. What I'm talking about.
You just said to me, you don't condemn it, and that's what I responded to.
Yes, because
I do condemn it if I'm asked to.
Yes, exactly. But what I'm trying to illustrate is that if you look at your tweets, if you look at your position on this, and whenever it's brought up, you bring up the death of Israeli civilians, and then use it as justification for anything Israel does. So you look at all of your discussion.
I don't use it as justification for anything
about how they're returned, so Israel can do whatever it wants. And then you don't care about the targeting of Palestinian civilians that takes place, and you never bring up the fact that anything that the Palestinians do in return is justifiable. Notice I'm not saying that it is. Let me be clear here. I'm perfectly consistent. Let me be clear. I'm perfectly consistent. I think everybody's wrong to target civilians, and I think targeting civilians does not justify any kind of reaction. So I'm not okay to go and target Israeli civilians because they targeted Palestinian civilians. You are the one who's followed the Zionist NPC propaganda hook, line, and sinker, and don't even see the distinction here, wherein no matter what Israel does, it doesn't matter. You're not going out there posting videos of the horrific things that are taking place in the West Bank, of the horrific things that Israel's been doing to Palestinians for 8 years, of the land theft, of the mass murder, of the terrorist attacks, the enormous number of terrorist attacks. I mean, Menachem Begin, the Israeli prime minister, boasted about the fact that he invented modern terrorism because the first civilian bomb, the first bomb to target civilians, the first people to think about the idea of let's put bombs in civilians was by the Zionists in Palestine against Palestinians.
Oh no!
So in your mind, you don't see anything wrong with that ever. And that's why for me, it's not about asking you to condemn it. It's about looking at where your energy goes. And your energy is constantly going, Hamas are evil, they're targeting civilians, and therefore everything that Israel does is justified. And therefore anybody who's critical of Israel is
and you're doing the same thing, but with the Jews, Princessia!
Wow. What is that?
You're doing the same thing. If he's saying you spend all your time thinking Hamas is evil, you spend all your time thinking the Zionists are evil, and there's no resolution. You're just spinning your wheels. This is your dance. It's not a good dance. It gets boring. It's like listening to the same album on a CD over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Let me just finish listening to this. It's another 30 minutes. And then I'm going to listen to another debate until. I mean, I don't know if Diego's gonna be back. I'm sure he's gonna not be on. But if and then I'm gonna go have Thanksgiving. But I'm gonna get ready right now. But is it okay? Just like 3 more minutes. I want to listen to it. I want to see the wrong way to defend Palestine. Let's go.
And whereas if Israel is
I've been up to a lot of stuff I wasn't even aware I was doing, Safety. You've really painted quite a picture there. Going after people, posting videos. I've never posted any videos from the Israeli-Palestinian conflict ever. So why are you criticizing me for not posting videos from the West Bank?
Israelis do to target civilians. You only talk about what the Palestinians do to target civilians.
I really don't comment on this issue very much at all.
I'm sorry?
I don't comment on this issue very much at all. I've never gone after people, as you suggest, for their opinions. I've always said
you have. What's the lady's name? You call her DEI Barbie?
Yeah, I called her DEI Barbie.
DEI Barbie?
Very personally, which is accusing me of being unfair and non-impartial when I was fair and impartial, as anyone who watches that debate can see. I don't give a shit about her opinion about Israel and Palestine. There was another guy on that panel with whom I had absolutely no issue who was arguing for the same thing. I know lots and lots of people who have your particular view on this issue. I respect them and get on with them just as I do with people who are pro-Israel. I have never targeted anybody for having a different opinion to me on this issue, and I never would, because I see it as very complicated, and I think people are right to think whatever they think about it if that's what they think. So, again, I think you're arguing with these sort of miraculous ghosts in your head and not with me. Can we talk about what I believe, or what you believe, or what you'd like to discuss with me? Because I think that would be a lot more productive.
Yeah, well, I mean, just to wrap this up, I think the point that I'm making.
Okay, so we can't. Fair enough.
No, we can. We're gonna move into that. It's just, again, the point is, it's very clear your energy is always going there, and I think the point that I'm trying to get.
How is that clear?
Because I've looked at your tweets for months and I've seen your discussions.
Okay, what have I, other than that particular one, what have I said about the conflict that you feel justifies your position?
Denouncing the criminality of Hamas and justifying the actions of Israel, and denouncing people who are critical of Israel for not understanding the fact that Israel needs to defend.
Whom specifically have I denounced for their position?
And never pointing out that Palestinians have a right to defend themselves.
You make quite a lot of points there, so let's just pause. Whom specifically have I denounced for their position on Israel?
I don't remember at this point, but
what about your other claim?
Put it in the chat, mate. Put the link in the chat, mate.
With you one tweet, the one that we were discussing. You were saying that it's okay for Israel to do whatever you want.
That tweet applies to Israel. It applies to Palestine.
By the way, Joy, how's the quality of the audio? Is it good?
Yeah, it's good.
Good?
It's good, yeah.
Good.
Everyone. I am sure the people of Gaza, if their sons are in an Israeli prison, agree with what I said, right? The problem that I explained to you is what happened on October 7th was not an attempt to get their children back. It was an attempt to kill civilians, as we discussed. Now, we seem to disagree. You seem to think Hamas didn't kill any civilians, except that one woman we saw, obviously, and that they treated everyone with kindness and respect, I'm sure. But you keep throwing out lots of claims about me that aren't factually based. And so it seems to me that you brought me on to argue with people in your head instead of with me, right?
No, I brought you on because you specifically said that anything that Israel does to try and get their hostages is something that you don't care about.
I said that
never
parent.
I'd like to. And the reason, and the other most important issue that we need to move on to, is the idea that if you think about targeting civilians, it's very clear. I think for anybody who's been paying attention over the last 9 months, Israel's goal is not to get Hamas or even to get the hostages. Israel's goal is to make Gaza uninhabitable, and this is something that is completely unable to register in the mind of the Zionist NPC. Because you have the Israeli finance minister who's saying, if we're talking about the plans for post-war Gaza, we need to talk about a Gaza. We need to plan for a Gaza that has 100 to 200,000 people. This is a place that has 2.3 million people. What does it mean to say we need to bring the population down to 0.1 or 0.2 million? That's 10% or 5%. So he's saying we need to get rid of 90 to 95% of the people. This is the finance minister. He's the most influential politician in Israel at this point. Him, Smotrich, and Ben Gvir might be the most important because they hold the Netanyahu coalition together. they're out there saying, doesn't matter what happens with the hostages, and it doesn't matter what happens with Hamas. What matters is we need to get rid of the Palestinian people from Gaza, okay? So you have to understand, this is what they're saying, and it doesn't register because Western media doesn't like to emphasize this, and of course you are conditioned to just turn a blind eye to it and just say, well, I condemn it. Yeah. What do you think of that?
We literally just released on Trigonometry a week ago
Trigonometry?
in which he made the exact point that you just made. So when you say you don't cover this or you don't know about this or whatever, that's garbage, right? So again, you're talking to people in your head.
No, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you.
And I'm saying to you that on my show, which has 1 million subscribers on YouTube, we just broadcast an interview in which the point that you just made was made by a prominent guest on our show.
Not you.
We brought him on to make the fucking point.
Yeah, so the point is you're out there. It doesn't register in your analysis.
Listen.
In your mind, there's nothing that Israel does that is unjustified. As many civilians as they kill, as many terrorists.
What is your evidence for that statement? What's your evidence for the statement? What's your evidence for the idea that I think anything Israel does is justified?
I just pointed out.
I just told you I don't support many of the things that are happening in the West Bank. That would be one example.
You're constantly, you're able to see that the actions of Hamas justify any reactions of Israel, and you're not able to.
I haven't said that they justify any reactions of Israel.
That's what you said in that.
No,
I mean,
no.
Look, you can't.
Let me explain to you the tweet.
I know it's difficult for you to just break out of this kind of conditioning where you don't see the asymmetry here. The asymmetry here is that we have a government that has billions of dollars being handed to it by the U.S., by all over the world, by weapons from all over the world. And it is actively out there saying, we want to get rid of these millions of Palestinians we have. Smotrich's plan says, he's been very clear about this. He released this plan in 2017. He says, we need to have one state from the river to the sea, a Jewish state. And everybody who's not Jewish needs to understand they have three options. They can either fight and they can either die, or they can leave, or they can accept that they will need to live under Israeli, subjugated to Israelis. This is what he says. This is very clearly what he says. Now, you are completely incapable of internalizing what this means for the human beings who live there, and that's why
What's your evidence for the idea that I am incapable of internalizing that?
Because you keep talking about the travesties of October 7 as if they are just incomparable evil that has never existed before, when Palestinians have experienced it.
Incomparable evil that's never existed before.
Okay, fine. You didn't say that, but you only talk about that because you don't talk about anything else going on. You don't go on and saying, well, you know what?
Explain to you that I barely ever talk about this conflict. Yes.
Yeah, so you only talk about it when the Zionist NPCs are activated to go out.
Zionist NPC!
Hey, it's okay for us to kill 500,000 Gazans in the next few months because they targeted a bunch of our civilians. So there is nothing that we can do that is not okay. And I think
said that either.
You did say it. You said that anything that can be done to get the hostages back is justified, but you don't apply the same standards.
That's not what I said either.
I think
what I
the point is that
Sebastian, can I just repeat to you? You seem to have some trouble with both listening and reading comprehension. Let me read what my tweet said. My tweet said, when you become a parent, you think like this, right? My point was that it's very difficult to expect people whose children have been kidnapped to think about this issue in anything other than the way that I described. I did not say that killing as many people in Gaza as possible should be Israeli state policy, nor do I think that. Why don't you actually ask me my opinions about things instead of putting words in my mouth or arguing with people you imagine in your head?
Because this is what Israel is doing, which you are defending under the pretext of they are doing this to rescue the
I'm not defending it.
Yes, you are. You're not out there saying, Israel is committing a genocide. They want to get rid of 2 million. I don't believe Israel is committing a genocide. That's for sure. Of course you don't. Exactly. I don't. Minister, that's why I have a brain and I know what words mean. No, it's because you don't have a brain. It's because you're an NPC. You have the actual finances.
Gotcha, mate. Gotcha.
What's the definition? What is the definition of genocide? What's the definition of genocide? You don't know. I'm asking you, what is the definition of genocide? The extermination of a people or a group of it, and or their elimination from a piece of land. This is exactly what it is. So moving people from a piece of land is genocide. No, removing them from a piece of land after killing of a people is genocide.
So I will say under I need to study it a little bit more specifically, but what he was trying to say is when you forcefully displace people, that is part of one of the.
That's called ethnic cleansing when you displace people.
Well, no. I'm talking about in international law, like the displacement of people or the expulsion of people from a land. That's not the language that international law uses, but we'll continue.
Yeah, so they like to make once you murder them, there's not much point kicking them out. Well, so what's your definition of genocide? You murder someone, you kick out the rest, and then you've left with a piece of land that doesn't have the original population. Right. That's how it works. The definition of
the forceful transfer. That's the word I'm thinking of.
Forceful transfers. You're an NPC, Zoides!
And murdering them in order to destroy that ethnic group and nationhood. I don't believe that's what's happening in Gaza. That's my opinion. If that was what's happening in Gaza, in my opinion, I wouldn't defend it and I wouldn't support it.
Why is it not? You have the actual finance minister saying we want to get rid of if we want to get rid of 2 million people out of this, if we end the war, if we can kill and expel 2 million people, then we will have the Gaza that we want after this. Well, I'm not looking at what. No, I'm aware that some of the people in the cabinet are saying things of that nature. Some of their language has been genocidal. It's not the same as Israel committing genocide, because how is it not? These are the people that are in power. They have the money and the weapons. The way you would assess whether something was happening would be by looking on the ground at what's happening, not what people are saying on the ground. And when we look at what's happening on the ground, Israel has available to, as you well know, weaponry of a much greater scale that could commit genocide in Gaza, and it's not using it precisely because they're attempting to limit civilian casualties as much as they can. Not least because safety, not because necessarily they love Palestinians and care about their lives so much, but because, of course, every Palestinian casualty is being used in the international media against Israel. And the one thing we've yet to talk about, and I think this behooves you to bring up to your audience that perhaps they are not aware of thanks to your analysis, is why so many people are being killed in Gaza. Why is that? Because in Ukraine, where my family are hiding from Russian bombs, you know where they do it? They hide in tunnels and metro stations and underground and tubes. It's not happening in Gaza for some reason, despite the fact that they have the most sophisticated tunnel infrastructure in the world. Interesting. And what's also interesting is, unlike in Ukraine, where President Zelensky was offered an opportunity to escape the moment the war started and decided to stay and lead his people, the people who caused this conflict or this flare-up of the conflict on October 7th, the people who are in charge of Hamas, seem to be living in five-star hotels in Qatar. Fascinating. Is it possible?
Is it the scene
if you Google is Hamas?
What did you say?
Apparently.
What did you say, Soren?
Well, saying the scene war was not a stay in a five-star hotel.
You know what I'm interested in seeing? How this man Saifuddin responds to these two alleged arguments that this guy is making Kissin, because he claims, one, why aren't they going down the tunnels? Like, my family in Ukraine went in underground. And then the second thing he's claiming is that the leaders are living in lavish when they're dead. So clearly they were in exile. Clearly their family is still in Palestine. Clearly their families have been killed, as well as their grandchildren, their sons. So I'm really curious how he's going to respond to this. So let's see. Because
I mean, the leader of Hamas was not obviously. Quite contrary to the claim.
Which one?
I mean, Sinwar, quite contrary to the
claim that was. Wait, hold on. Before we talk about Sinwar, Sinwar came into power the political bureau after they killed Ismail Haniyeh. So when we talk about the leader,
he was the one who was actually pulling the string. I mean, he had the ultimate power there.
No, people say people say it's Sinwar, but the reality is the commander-in-chief, Mohammed Al-Zif, who they claim has been killed, was the one that was like.
Understand, but you know what? I remember. Many people pro-Zionist on this app, they were saying he actually surrounded himself with the Israelis hostages. That was a talking point. But when he was found, there was no Israelis around him. I mean, I can't understand.
For sure. So, and Soren, did you read the article that Diego has posted at the top?
No, I haven't.
It made me very angry. I read it out loud in the room.
You got angry?
It makes me angry. There is anger that is justified, Joy.
Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to anger. Anger leads to bad feelings. Bad feelings leads to bad outcomes.
Of course.
Done in West Bank as well.
Anybody who cares about Palestine and supports Palestine needs to realize that this is not just about Gaza. This is about all of Palestine, all of the occupation, all of the injustice.
All of it! 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 All of it!
Okay, are you ready to finish listening to what he says, Joy? Ready? Let's go.
All of it.
Okay, here we go. All of it.
Human shields, you can immediately find its Channel 4 fact check. It'll be one of the first search results you'll find, in which one of the leaders of Hamas says in 2014 that this is a brave tactic that we use to stop Israeli missiles with our chests. The reason so many people are dying in Gaza is that it benefits Hamas to see them be killed, and that's why they're putting them in harm's way deliberately. And that is something perhaps we should add to this conversation.
Yeah, but you bring that up, of course. Let me say, of course, I think that's completely indefensible, what Hamas does, and I'm no way going to defend it.
Okay. But then stop using Hamas. Stop using.
But.
Look how he didn't even address either one of his points yet. Like I said, he wasn't even going to address it. Let's see what he says. Mind you, this man.
It's the fault of the people who put them in harm's way.
No. It's the fault of the people who have been ethnically cleansing them for 80 years, which is, again, something that your brain cannot process because you're conditioned not to think about this. Look, this is something that Israelis have been doing since the 1940s, and they've done it in the 60s, and they've done it recently. And this is something that has become mainstream. You said, well, Israel could have more bombs. No, actually, they can't. You know, the reality of the matter is...
Israel has nuclear weapons.
Yeah, they can't use nuclear weapons on Gaza.
Why not?
They can't. It would kill Israelis. It would kill a lot of Israelis. They just cannot do that.
They could use small tactical nuclear weapons if they wanted to. They could carpet bomb the entire place, which they haven't done.
No, they have. That's exactly what they've been doing. They have carpet bombed the entire place. They've dropped more bombs on it than anything else. But I think the key thing to keep in mind here is this. Within a couple of weeks of the beginning of the war, Israeli generals were very clear about the fact that, look, if the U.S. stops giving us weapons, we are done. We can't shoot anymore. The amount of artillery and the amount of air power that has been deployed by Israel over this is just beyond what a country of 10 million people can sustain. It's an enormous amount of weapons. I mean, they're dropping millions of dollars worth of bombs on houses that are just shanties, basically. This is, and they're out there to try and get and destroy every single shanty, every single building. Not only that, but, so the reason they do this, the reason they can't just use more power is because if they do use more power, if they do use any kind of chemical weapons or something like that just results in mass casualties at once, it's not going to play well with foreign people who want to believe the idea that, no, Israel is out there trying
chemical weapons?
So the real limitation here is it's not a question of how do we get Hamas without killing as many civilians. The question is how do we kill as many civilians as possible while making it look like we're not out there to kill civilians. This is the mentality that drives the Israeli leadership, which of course you choose to ignore. This is what they're saying. This is their saying. You choose to ignore it. No. They're clearly saying I disagree. Israel said there are no innocents in Gaza. Nothing, not even a baby is innocent.
I disagree with that.
Yeah, of course you disagree, but you still support everything that he does. That's the point. You're an NPC.
I don't support everything that he does.
Zionist NPC.
Joy, relax.
Yeah, Zionist NPC. This is the problem with communication hypnosis. all communication is hypnosis. So this is called the Johnny Carson Show, aka a podcast. Welcome to your daily hypnosis therapy. Welcome to talking about the same shit every day for the rest of your life. Hello? Is anyone home? Is anyone home? Is anyone home? Is anyone in there? Is anybody inside your head? Is anybody in there alive? Are you alive and thankful? It's Thanksgiving! It's Thanksgiving! Hello! 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 It's Thanksgiving!
This is the admin show. Calm down.
It's Thanksgiving! Hello? Hello?
Do you have permission to continue, Joy?
Please proceed.
Thank you.
Given you any evidence to suggest that I support everything Israel is doing, all I said is I don't believe that